Oh yeah, in the green room right now.
I can't get rid of this top thing on my fucking screen where it says video. Oh, okay. Close settings. We're good now.
Do you like Video Ninja or whatever app this is? I've never even. Oh, see that? Yeah, everything's so AI now. It's like I'm not used to it. There's so many different apps now. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're all about the deals.
Oh, these headphones.
Oh yeah. I'll send a message to the chat. Live, love. Oh yeah, because that's like next week.
My earbuds just crapped out on me after like 2 years. They were 99 cents at Walmart, so I hope you guys can hear me because I just had to like swap 3 different pairs. I hear you a lot better now. Do I sound like I'm okay? Thank you.
Sound cool. You sound chill.
I just want to be okay. I want a podcast to the world. I thought it was funny that Tyler advertised this as the Bodacious Brothers of Borger. It's kind of like, one of them 80s tag teams of Axe and Smash and Crush and Avalanche. We're the Bodacious Boys of Borger.
Ooh, Bodacious. Oh man. When I hear it, I'm like, man, we're just going to have to put way more twerking girls in every video we make now.
Yeah.
Just with a name like that, you can't do anything else. Tight. There's another wildfire south of Border.
Wildfire update with Swizzle.
Well, I mean, honestly, though, what's up with these fires? Like, they didn't used to happen like this, right? Or am I just like losing me? That's the thing. Like, everybody had to leave California because it was burning down. Then they came to Texas. Now we're burning down every other week.
It's like you could save the year. Yeah. It's like you could say the rest of the year is going to be dry, but enough about your dating life, Tyler. I'm just kidding. I don't want to be considered bullying on my own podcast. This isn't the arena of ideas, but we are some thought thinkers. We're hungry wolves. Man, Dave Wright the band. Dave Wrong the stinker. Yeah, I worked yesterday too. My whole work schedule's been flipped around. So then today, like, I usually am off Saturdays for corn fed and Sundays during the afternoon to watch Unfiltered sometimes. And then it's completely swapped around where I'm working like 8 to 5. And I'm like, this isn't normal. And they're like, well, everybody quit. And I'm like, is this common? And they're like, yes. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wow.
They're like, yeah, do you know where you work, sir?
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
It ain't all life and baconators, huh?
Sunshine and baconators. Okay, all right.
I mean, it is a classy establishment, though. If you're gonna go fast food, you gotta hit the Wendy's.
Okay. All right. There's Swizzle. I'm just waiting for Sweeze to pop up. There's Sweeze, and there I am. Okay.
Hello,
all right.
What are you doing?
Welcome.
Happy to be here.
For once, it's not the crash out connoisseurs. We're on the main show, baby. Welcome to
Here.
the Unfiltered podcast. I'm Tyler Anderson. The internet knows me as Tyler Liger. And I'm here with the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast. So in the middle, if you guys are looking at the screen, SWEEZE is in the middle, and SWIZZLE is in the far left hand side. So there we go.
In theory, could be any way.
It
right?
could be in
If you don't know
any
your
way,
right from
shape, or
left.
form. Yeah.
This started off as a big old SWEEZE sandwich, okay?
Yeah, it's definitely a SWEEZE sandwich. But gentlemen, why don't you guys start off by just telling a little bit about yourselves from, I don't know, probably, you guys probably at least like long walks on a beach, right? If there's a beach around.
Yeah, I was thinking I'll go first, Swizzle. My name's Tanner or SWEEZE. I'm a Libra. On my dating profile, I have a picture with Shane Gillis that big into comedy.
But is it a real picture of Shane Gillis?
Honky
That's a
Kong,
thing.
welcome in.
Everybody.
Is it an AI?
Dating life is so much easier with AI. So to start it all off, I'm Tanner or SWEEZE. I'm from the Amarillo, Texas area, Borger, Texas Panhandle. My brother Swizzle also goes by Suede. We spent a lot of time in college. We studied mass comm, advertising, audio, video production. After college, I went off to Oklahoma City. And then after college for Swizzle, he went down to Denton, UNT. Continued life there for a few years, ended up in Lubbock. Then during COVID, we basically ended up back home. So all that time I spent in Oklahoma City. I was just doing call center jobs, the type of job that, you can sit around and listen to podcasts. So at first I really got into Your Mom's House, Tom Segura, Christina Pazitsky when I would be working during COVID. So big fan of podcasts, comedy. We spent a lot of time apart, and during COVID, in the midst of everything, we have to do a lot of things to be able to start our next chapter. So in the midst of that time, we created a podcast that was going to cover the stand-up news, the whatever we were interested in. And my background was more of advertising and writing and stuff like that. So before we had moved off, went and got jobs and stuff like that, we had always been interested in YouTube. So we did sketches and stuff like that around here. So we're about an hour north of Amarillo, a town of 15,000 people. So basically we kind of made a name for ourselves the summer of 2011, about 15 years ago. So once we did that, we went to Canyon and, we were mass comm, Swizzle was on the radio and I was more trying to write for the newspaper, where I met Tyler Liger, the host of this show. So that's how far, me and Tyler go back. That's how long Swizzle's kind of been around. That time where we moved about
I've only been around the last 10 years.
So about the last 15 years, we started in Canyon. We all kind of, did everything with there, gritted our teeth, got college degrees, moved off. And then, about a year or two ago, we were really set on what we wanted to do. We were always interested in design and video, and we thought, what better part could we do to combine our love of wrestling, our love of music, our love of production, and just kind of clips that go viral. And we were always kind of the funny guys. So as the older brother, I kind of was hey, if these guys that are stand-up comedians on the weekend can advertise their sets and advertise all of this, I thought, what better idea would it be to capitalize and monetize on a vision, on a project that us, our friends, and everyone, and through the years, I would say this journey in podcasting me and Swizzle have talked about it for about 2.5 years. So a little about that's just we wanted to just put out content. So I really like content and hip hop and wrestling. So that's where SWEEZE comes from. And the influence and the audience we've kind of built over the last few years was kind of just because of me, and Swizzle can share his side. So go ahead.
Yeah. Swizzle, you have the floor.
It's how many days sober you got there, Tanner? You didn't. That was like a whole AA introduction.
No, well, I really,
I
really.
I'm like, you wrote that. It sounds like you wrote this down pretty
No,
well.
the thing about it is the behind the scenes, like full curtain pull, is one of the things that I wanted to do was podcasts is consistency, like being available and like showing everybody that this is easy and you could put out what you want people to see. You could find these people, because in the Texas Panhandle we're so isolated, and like before, where Tyler lived before he moved back here, he was in Iowa and North Dakota. That area is so isolated, so I'm able to like put something out like a comedy podcast clip on X, and X isn't, I've met people off of X that have actually benefited me in the real life by having a personal, genuine relationship. And it goes to show,
that's
like,
the thing about the future that we're in right now is 10 years ago, none of this stuff existed. And that's a big difference between me and Sweeze. He's very good at networking, talking stuff like this. And I've always kind of been, I guess, more of the eccentric one, growing up. So Tanner's always kind of been, I've always kind of been the chiller one, the more creative. Tanner's been the more, he needs structure. And, so it's like we're the perfect yin and the yang, being two brothers, but also growing up in this town. When you grow up in a small town of 15,000 people, your business is everywhere, and so I think that's one thing. It's kind of weird how it all works out now, because I actually have always kind of just been recording videos and sketches, and like Sweeze is talking about, I remember there is still on YouTube sketches from when we were in high school. And when I was in high school, so I was a junior in high school, and like just my friends, we were huge fans of like Workaholics and stuff at the time. So we started doing like skits. Theirs was like mail order comedy, I think, so it was like, we've kind of been brought up in this world of like, our parents were real shift workers, so we were kind of raised by not necessarily TV. Our grandparents raised us kind of where our parents were at work, but
we had to keep ourselves busy, and all that we had was to each other. So like ever since I was 22, 24 years old, and Swizzle 18 to 20, we spent all this time apart, and our lives became so different. We didn't know anything about each other. But now that COVID happened, we were all back in it with our grandma and helping our mom out. And then 2 years later, we're helping our mom retire and stuff like that, help her move stuff. So like if we can do a podcast to like alleviate the stress that is real life, and like meet some people that have a common interest of like podcasts, wrestling, news, viral, comedy, just anything that, kind of just lets everybody at ease, or, the interview conversation flow type. We haven't really like put ourselves out there in the ways of what we're going to establish ourselves as, is like introduce yourself in your 15-minute elevator pitch. What are you guys about? So it's more just like
we haven't got our network pitch yet.
So and what I would say it all leads towards is we have a vision now. Everything's kind of clear. We have all these common interests, but me and him, we're brothers. We're very close, but we don't know each other that much anymore. So I think it would be good for the listeners to kind of just follow along in the lives of where we're at and where we're going and how it's going. And then throw in little bits here and there of like, here's a sketch of us doing this, or here's some,
and that's the beauty of this podcast, because I've kind of always been lazy all my life, right? I was talking about earlier, I was always creative as a kid and stuff. Yeah. So I just would leave projects wherever. The beauty of that now is I'm going through, and because now it's so easy just to take a hard drive out of an old computer and you just get clips from it, So I have years of footage that kind of documents stories and stuff that I can tell. And
it really all goes back
to these
to
things, it all kind of comes back, and everything kind of happens weirdly, like when it happens, because when I met Tyler, Tanner had already been at WT for a year, and I had went there, and it was my second year in college. So my dad had died like 6 months before then. So huge life shift, everything like that. So on top of like losing, you're moving from your hometown for the first time. You're on your own on this. I went to college and I met these people, and Tanner was doing mass communications. and he's like, hey man, come be on the radio, like that's a thing. And I'm sitting there thinking like, wait, I can just go be on the radio, like that's legit now, you know? So I did that, and that's where I kind of first got my taste of podcasting and stuff. So it's weird now because me and Squeeze, we separated for the 10 years, and you know, we kept in contact, but we don't really know.
And I mean,
stories back then, you know,
really,
and now that we're
like,
living in the same area, it's kind of like, man, it's cool because y'all are gonna get to experience two brothers getting to relearn each other, but also the craziness it is. Because if you know anything from Squeeze's Twitter, crash out.
Don't even get us started.
Basically, but to sum all this up, it's like we go back into like, let's say we're all around the same age, like let's say 35. So we look back 15 years ago when all of this was happening, and these little parts of like me trying to work for the newspaper, reaching out to you, coming to a couple meetings, going and covering women's basketball for a semester. Like if I would have stuck with that, I probably could have did something after college with my degree. Instead, I just went to the college fair, and then I ended up in Oklahoma City because I got a job and I worked in a call center for a decade. And then I'm back in Borger with my brother, who also, you know, has been doing these things. And all of these things matter in life, of how you treat people and like how things go, and like all the lessons you learn throughout all your hardships, because all that time we spent in Canyon, 15 years later, we're back here on a Sunday night on Unfiltered Podcasts, back at it like a crack addict with a bad habit.
Watch yourself. CJ might be watching.
Is that? Oh, remember that time on the last stream he said, I took your job. Remember? So that it's beef, CJ. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, CJ. I love Crash Out
CJ, I took your job.
Crash Out Connoisseur. You guys should like
connoisseurs.
I don't. Yeah, you should do a fusion one there. Crash Out Con.
Yeah.
And then Tyler and CJ's face and welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well,
so, I think we kind of rambled a little bit about there when you told us to introduce ourselves, but we went like super personal on a deep end of a story. Apologies. Welcome to the Unfiltered Podcast.
Yeah, it's unfiltered.
Hey, I know I was only
on
on a couple episodes in the beginning, but are y'all still yeeting? Like, did y'all keep that up?
I don't think so. I think the only one that's abiding by that is Drew. And he does a woo.
Broke.
So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's positive.
Oh, man.
But you know, there were a lot of things that led us here, podcast and meeting each other in college, and it was kind of like I always shared something in common with you, looked up to you, and you were just one of the guys on the outside that was always cool, always chill, and that's why we've always stayed in touch. And you know, about a year ago when you started Unfiltered, like super proud of you. Congratulations for season 1. Congratulations on to season 2. Very happy to be able to share your work and everything that you've done with it, and like hats off to you, because you know life happens. So I guess we're back to here to like give an update on the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE with our channel, because that's what's coming up, and it's going to be a multiverse of SWEEZE and SWIZZLE. There you go.
A multiverse. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like when you talk to Dalton, or you talk to Dave, or you talk to Doug or Paul, they lump me into the SWEEZE verse. So
yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a part of the SWEEZE verse, like how the Legion of Skanks talk about the Rogan verse and the Skanks verse. I feel like I'm a little bit in the Skanks verse. Like I'm like one thing away from Louis J. Gomez, who is like Dalton had a direct link at one time. And you know, like I've been on Crack Amico's podcast, which is a rapper that Louis J. Gomez created, which he was on a podcast with Dalton. And he was on a podcast with Robbie the Ice, good one, not that one, not that Ice.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's just like the SWEEZE verse and multitude. I'm always happy to share. I feel like we're an umbrella under the Billionaire Podcast Network, that like if you talk about Dalton, you're going to talk about Dave, and if you talk about Dave, you're going to talk about Broseph Smith, and then if you talk about Broseph Smith and Dave, you're going to talk about Paul from Sibling Revelry, and then you're going to talk about Douglas is a dope, and then you know it kind of branches out to there's a group of like 15 people that support us, and then 2 of those podcasts have a big following on Saturday nights. So you could watch Sibling Revelry on Rumble, you could watch Corn-Fed on YouTube, you can watch Unfiltered on Sunday, you could watch Crash Out Connoisseurs throughout the week. So like it's the perfect time for anyone with a vision and a goal like me and SWIZZLE have to just hop back in, not have any pressure, just like do what we can to like make these dates, to like keep it consistent and reach out to our people. So that's, I mean, the main vision really, because yeah, I mean, you're a part of the SWEEZE-verse, Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have the League of Liger. Hey, are there any Amarillo wrestlers that could come into the SWEEZE-verse if we get into like internet beefs? Because that would be cool.
I know a few. Like, I mean,
got some
Draven
beef.
Reeves would probably be. He'd probably figure out a way to get into the SWEEZE-verse. Lee Excel, he's out of Clovis.
Hey, it's New
He doesn't
Mexico.
want you to
You
know
know
that, but
You know what's the good thing about New Mexico versus Texas is?
well, you know what they say,
the
why
land of
Texas is so windy.
Yes. Yes.
New Mexico blows and Oklahoma sucks.
Yeah. I like the Thunder. The Thunder are my favorite.
Too. I like the Thunder, but I mean, would you really consider Oklahoma City like part of Texas, or is it?
I consider
region.
Tulsa and OKC like a suburb of Dallas, like an Arlington, but like out by itself, but it's in the middle of Oklahoma, and there's no reason to live out there or anything. Like, the reason I had to move was because I was doing a remote job, and my rent went from $1,200 a month for a 2-bedroom to like $2,800 a month. And all the people that moved from California moved into Oklahoma City and Tulsa and flooded it, and then the cost of living went 3 times what it was. So that's why I ended up back in Borger, and I'm thankful for it, because like everything happens for a reason. Just like, you know, we're doing this podcast 2 years after we announced it, and I've been on Twitter giving all these false promises and all this like, hey, it's coming back, hey, it's here, and they're like, is he promoting a podcast but never gonna do it? And like, we have merchandise, we have a buffet tour, we have so much that we're going for, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of these people think that we're locals, and they say that, hey, SWEEZE, crash out connoisseurs, they follow all the crash outs, and you're kind of like the Forrest Gump of Twitter, but no one believes your stories. Like, he's like, so SWEEZE is like Forrest Gump if no one believes his stories. He just tells tall tales, and like, you know, I get a little drunk sometimes and tweet when I shouldn't. Like, let's be honest. And
well, you're not as bad as the quartering. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So like, voice to text is probably the worst thing ever, and like, hard seltzers too. The drinking is back in my 30s, you know, and I don't have to feel terrible about it. So like, you know, on my downtime, I like to, you know, have a couple drinks, hang out like a dude, and you know, that can be my downfall for productivity. So my recommendations, don't do that. And you know,
we've lived the life of stand-up comedians doing everything except
stand-up, right?
We party like a rock star. We don't play music.
The rock star lifestyle, but you guys don't play music. I get you.
Yeah, and it's sad because we're both built like Chris Farley.
Yeah, and live fast, die young.
Yeah.
Be on SNL for 2 years or something. Like, you know, we look a lot up to these comedy podcasters. These guys that like live for the weekend open mics, the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday. It's because when I was in Oklahoma City, I started going to these stand-up shows, the Sebastian Maniscalcos, the Tom Seguras, the Bert Kreischers. I loved comedy. I liked podcasting. I never really thought of myself as like the person that was going to be on a podcast by myself ranting to like an hour, but then I met Dalton Pruitt, and like, damn it, you know, he's really talented about it. Like, so once I started listening to Dalton's podcast, like in 2020, it was him and Robbie Goodwin and a third, and they got really popular over COVID. So like, that was inspiring to see like somebody that took this like weekend warrior vibe, just exactly like it is in Amarillo for the wrestlers. Like, you live for the weekend, you thrive for your passion. And a little bit of life's hardships happened to me and Swizzle, but we were able to bounce back. And so this is the bounce back.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the comeback is always greater than the setback.
Right.
I've always been surprised on how fast times moved. You know, like I'm 33 now, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, like it's just flown by. And it's like I'm looking up to like, I've always been kind of like interested in like popular culture and stuff like that, you know. So I'm very active on TikTok and very things that are going on currently. But then I look at it and I'm like, man, I'm like looking up to like these 19, 20-year-old celebrities. Like, why didn't I do that when I was 19?
Yeah.
And I realized I took like 3 years of ad PR classes, and I'm like, oh, you can't post that type of stuff on the internet. You're going to ruin your job. You're going to ruin the future.
Yeah.
And now like being a crash out on the internet is actually a paying job. You know, that's
Well,
insane.
I mean, look no further than World of T-shirts, at least until he got banned.
We love
Yeah,
World
well, now
of
he's
T-shirts
sober,
here.
and
This
he
is
is
a World of T-shirt
terrible.
household.
He is terrible.
So yeah, I mean, it just goes on to like, that's what you want to think about. You don't want to be one of these crash outs. You don't want to be someone that people.
You
just
don't want to be
laugh at
covered
or
on the
mock
crash out
of.
connoisseurs. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
You
and
don't,
then
you don't
this
want
is-
the document. You don't want the downfall documented.
This is when CJ pops up out of nowhere, and it's like, Sweeze, we brought your brother here. We got you here. It's your intervention. And then you start playing like clips from last
Squeeze,
night.
Swizzle, have a seat. We need to talk. Like,
Yeah. You guys are really running it with the buffet tour idea. It's really a good idea.
it's a really good idea, but please don't like save yourself from the drunk tweeting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, I like to have a good time. People understand
Long
I'm
walks on the
genuine.
beach.
I haven't been doxxed yet. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of the reason why you like when you do a podcast, you fear, okay, what are these people wanting to know about my life? Am I going to go in there as Tanner from WT and be like, hello, I'm Tanner with News One. Thank you for being here. I'm Tanner Sims. This is News One, stuff like that. Am I really going to say that? Like, no, you have to like put your, it's kind of like when Stone Cold Steve Austin gets interviewed and he's like, I'm not always Stone
Which
Cold.
he also
That's
looks terrible, by the way. Stone Cold's not doing good.
Yeah, so it's,
If you have not seen it recently,
and wrestlers that have been a part of this podcast and the shows in Lubbock as well would agree that like who you put out there, your gimmick is your strongest personalities turned up to 10. Like, I want to accentuate that I can have that Chris Farley T-Sweeze type energy and come into the room and do cartwheels, but sometimes at the better of my judgment, I might twist an ankle and be out for 3 weeks, or SWEEZE and SWIZZLE might have a hard holidays of, it's hard that time of year. Sometimes brothers fist fight, so we can't really go on camera. So
Oh my God.
Things like that. I think it's just more important to say like we know a lot about like failed obstacles along the way of podcasting, because all the stuff we learned at WT is not relevant to what we could do, what it takes to get here on what we're streaming on, and then just go.
it's so easy now.
You're a testament to it with your success of the following you built, because I spent years and years and years trying to get people to like me on the internet, but I was just too damn nervous about like, I hope they're actually, I hope they care, because I'm just in my room ranting. And then it's like, okay, well, nobody's going to listen to a guy alone in his room ranting.
You'd be surprised.
What about his brother?
I mean, look
What about
no further than Tony Chase. I mean, he rants and rambles in his room about about the satellite man trying to point lasers at his teeth and his dick. His 41-inch penis, mind you. And
and that probably works for that guy because he has a little bit of that.
That's what we're saying.
Or it could be worse. It could be like PWR. You're Canadian on Prince Edward Island, and then the next thing you know, you're fucking your cousins. So
right. And see, dude, I did want to bring that up as
have
well.
Some respect. That's what the Royals do. Okay.
Yeah.
Inbreeding is very popular. Okay.
That's
Do
what
what
the
you
Royals
do.
do, dude. I mean, listen to me, baby. I mean, Adisa can't even get my dick up.
Yeah, so like I got tagged in something after you had posted the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE will be on.
Yeah.
And it was someone from my real life that's not even connected to the podcast or knows SWEEZE on the internet. They were like, "Hey Tanner, is this you?" It popped up on one of PWR's pages that this guy does a podcast, and I'm like, sure is. I'll be on Sunday. So like some random that I know in real life was like, "Hey Tanner, is this you on this podcast that this PWR guy is like talking about?" I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So I had that happen to me once. So like I promoted that I was on Corn-Fed with Dalton Pruitt, which was a really fun time. It was the classic with Ellie Stockholm.
Yes,
Miss
I
Butt
love
Cheeks
Ellie.
herself.
Shout out Ellie.
Yeah, shout out
Man.
Ellie.
Skankfest ring girl. I know you didn't watch a lot of those pods, but she was on Legion of Skanks. She was the ring girl in the fight. It was a wonderful thing to be like associated with Ellie Stockholm. So now that you're in the SWEEZE-verse, she's in the SWEEZE-verse, right?
She is in the SWEEZE-verse. And I'm thinking, I'm promoting this, and and my grandmother pops up when I'm trying to promote this, and my grandma's like, I really like this avatar. I like the pig, you know. And I'm like, what? What? And it's like, you know, my 80-year-old grandmother, you know, comments underneath what could be a not safe for work type of podcast, which I mean, Dalton Pruitt definitely is. Like,
them things were thinging though that night.
Things were thinging, yeah. Hey, by the way, can Swee shout out Sumo Dog? It's his dog's named Sumo Bear. It's a real dog, and Sweeze is himself. I can't super chat, otherwise I would.
Well, I appreciate it, Drew, and thank you to Drew. Shout out Sumo Dog. He's a Sumo Bear. He's a real dog. Super chats
asshole.
are always welcome.
I'm not at the point where I can do super
most
chats
of the
yet.
time. Yeah, so shout out Drew and appreciate all the feedback. He's been a day one SWEEZE and SWIZZLE supporter. Yeah, even when SWIZZLE was not with us and we didn't have, you know, the podcast going.
The
So
Wait,
SWEEZE and
did
SWIZZLE
I
minus
die?
Swizzle.
the SWEEZE minus SWIZZLE season 2 spooktacular, right?
And then don't forget about Beagle Boy. I think Swizzle, you can talk about Beagle Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking? Wait, you're gonna bring up Emilio Billingsley right now? Yeah,
Dice Game, welcome in.
the mighty duck dog.
First
That's his
name
official
Emilio for Emilio Estevez, last name Billingsley because in Friday Night Lights, Tim McGraw. Billingsley! Party at Taylor's!
Party at Billings!
Yeah.
Be there!
So it came from that.
Billingsley! So shout out Friday Night Lights, shout out Mighty Ducks.
He's so if y'all have never been around beagles or dogs, you know every breed is like stereotypical, which is the beauty of it is we've advanced the dogs like capability in their brain now because they hang out with humans so much, so we've jumped them in several evolutionary periods. But beagles,
Dr.
they have a
Swizzle.
weird smell. Yeah, I'm a doctor of the streets. The Beagle Boy, like he used to be a type of dog that would be on top of a shed and he would jump over the fence and he's just tearing stuff up, and now he just like walks around, has seizures, and stares at you. It's weird
because beagles are notorious for seizures. So like, yeah, you know.
Well, also when I bought him at 2:30 in the morning in a Walmart parking lot in Denton, Texas, and I bought her from a crackhead. She had at least 25 beagles just caged in the parking lot, and she was like, that's what she said she did. So I had this girl dog in my hands at first, and she was so sweet, you know, she was calm, and then my mom's like, no, you want the boy, you know, you want the boy. So I got him because he was like the playful one, and it turned out he was the terror of the group. But the lady said, oh, I'm glad I'm getting rid of this one, and I'm like, what do you mean? And she grabbed a bottle of Robitussin and with a syringe shot it down his mouth and said, yeah, when he starts acting up, just start doing this to him. So I don't know if that maybe that triggered the seizures or just he's partied too hard.
But also he did like before he started having seizures, he disappeared for like 6 days. And like common with Swizzle, when Swizzle disappears for a few days, we're like, he'll find his way back. It'll be fine. So yeah, so he ended up, Beagle is about 12 years old and Sumo is about 10. And I got Sumo on my 29th birthday. And I originally had his little brother. Like, I got a dog during COVID. I got a new puppy before Sumo. So I had Sumo and his dog, Rocky. Named after Rocky Maivia, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Die, Rocky, die.
Which, Sumo Dog is a Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix, but he was raised in an apartment. So that doesn't go together. You know what I mean? So he just thinks he's a person. Like he thinks he needs to herd the other dogs, and like he'll go to the back door and just like, they need to come in, but I'm not going out. You know?
He takes care of my dogs for us. He takes care of the other dogs for us.
He's
so Sumo Dog, shout out to Sumo Dog, shout out to Sumo Bear. Coming soon to the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE channel, I'm taking all of the clips from comedians and guest to podcast and putting them all in a compilation. And I think that'll be something to be excited for, because we do have, like, my favorite is one time when Dalton and Robbie and Crack Amico, Crack was staying with Louis J. Gomez doing some appearances on some podcasts in New York. So Crack streamed from Lewis's real ass man cave. So, you know, it has real ass dude and the lights behind, and it's like super fancy because he's, you know, Louis J. Gomez is. So he gets on there and he's like, the chat is saying, shout out Sumo Dog, because it's Drew in the chat doing what Drew does. Mm-hmm. And then Louis J. Gomez, this comedian who's been on countless, you know, whatever. He was just like, am I a Sumo Dog? Or am I being made fun of because I'm Sumo Dog? So another one this week that I think everybody's excited for is, remember that show on Comedy Central, Inside Amy Schumer? A comment? Okay, Amy Schumer. So 10 years ago, there was a comic named Kurt Metzger who wrote for the show. He came up with Big J. Okerson. He's like huge in these circles that we run with all the Skankfest fans. So Kurt Metzger shouted out Sumo. So I have a clip of that, and, you know, shout out to like Drew Montana and all the Philly comedians. And, you know,
his dog is more famous than he is.
Been having my dog mentioned on so many other platforms. He gets mentioned, and then I get, you know, shout out Sweeze. He's Sumo's owner, because like these people, they're trying to watch what they say on a podcast, and they're like, shout out Sumo Dog. Is that a key word for someone out there who's schizophrenic? And like, are they gonna kill the prime minister of Malaysia? Like, when I say shout out Sumo Dog?
In sleeper cells. As soon as someone says it, it's gonna happen.
Well, I'm sure at least weekly there's at least 3 to 4 podcasts that say shout out Sumo Dog. So
at least
I'm glad that I can shout my dog out.
I haven't really done that in a while, like, because everybody that, like, I haven't really brought on anybody new for a while, so that's why I'm like, okay, like, whenever I have a new guest though, we always do the shout out Sumo Dog. So
right, and I've always appreciated the support, so that's kind of what all this vision is going into. I'm using my strengths as not the best podcast editor, but I can figure some things out. I have the microphone, I have the setup, I have the topics, I have the knowledge, but, you know, keeping the shout out Sumos all going.
That's one thing we've discovered in this podcast journey so far, because I did radio in college, so, you know, I kind of, this is like second nature for me now, talking into a mic and just stuff like that. Sweeze, though, I've noticed in every recording we do, everything that I edit is like 7 minutes I have to cut out of just him starting to shout people out.
Yes, I'm heavy on the shout
that
out.
happens to all of us. Like, I think CJ and I, we spend at least probably got about a good 10-15 minutes like shouting people out in our chat. And then
I'm on the right path.
Then we spend another 15 minutes like, you know, interacting with chat and reading the chat. So that's, I mean, we appreciate our chatters, like every single one that comes in. Like Nico Suave came in today. There's Drew. There's Dice Gay. There's B Young. There's Ash Young. There's Honky Kong. All these chatters come in, and it really sometimes you guys do derail a show. And sometimes I get a little miffed because I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we sticking on Truther? I'm getting tired of Truther. I'm getting tired of this dude. But no, like at the same time, no, I appreciate everybody that comes in, because we'd be shouting into the void if we didn't have our chat. So we appreciate everyone.
That's what my Twitter
Pandatron,
was.
welcome in. Good to see you,
shout out
man.
PJ.
Yeah.
Hey, Pandatron also has the same CJ Holiday thing. I heard him say it. So
the back at it, like a crack at it with a bad habit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pandatron. He's like the full throttle mulatto.
But
PJ Pandatron.
We appreciate everybody that comes in. And I don't rage out too bad. I chuckle about it because I'm like, yeah, we're at the mercy of our chatters, you know, and we have to as entertainers. We really do, because it's our communities that really build us up. And sometimes I'm like, they kind of, because I talked to CJ and I was like, you know, I didn't think that was a great show. And he's like, dude, that was an awesome show. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I think it's because chat hijacked the show and kept on wanting us to tune into to Truther, and I'm like, that's fine, you know. And I still laugh about that because you know, without our chat, we wouldn't have had like the, you know, like we wouldn't be able to cover like Tony Chase. We wouldn't cover we wouldn't have found out about Truther 777. We wouldn't have found out about a lot of these people. So
yeah, and it leads you onto a path to where potentially you could get more people that have that same interest.
Yeah,
so like,
it's an audience builder. And to say that, like, you know, along with McGillicuddy and I think there were several archivers before us. However, like we've been really kind of been at Truther. Like, so we always try to challenge him to a dance off of Cyrax, which is always kind of funny. I mean, how are you losing to a goblin from Akron that messages minors on the internet? Like, how are you losing this fight, Truther? Like, I just have to ask you that. But no, but yeah, like, so. And I got off on a tangent. Sorry. But
I think it's really good. The chat, I was always a part of the chat. So like someone like Pandatron, I remember the first time that Pandatron had joined a Robbie Goodwin stream up to almost 3 years ago. And Pandatron's been somebody that you can back and forth, just like your chat people. And then now that he does a show, I can shout him out on Saturday's show as well. You know, that's 3 shows on Saturday that, you know, if we all just like and support each other and build a following and, you know, get to know that side of things, because like you say with Cyrax and the Truther and, you know, the things that you cover, you do it your own way. Just like how SWEEZE and SWIZZLE are going to this is the train wreck. This is the car crash you can't look away from. We'll be super genuine to you if you're genuine with us. Like, I fucks with you if you fucks with me. Like, I'm a real ass dude. And it can't be said enough how real ass SWEEZE and SWIZZLE are. That's what I'm thinking is
real ass doggies.
So
we're going to use the best of our ability and our chat to start a No, you know, like,
everything
take it too far.
Everything's so interactive now, and
there's so many collabs.
You can totally
and everything is
start a Facebook group.
This is all kind of new, right?
In the town square. Let's get this going. Let's get them out of our towns. Like, no, too far.
Whoa!
Should I go back to yeeting?
So the Panhandle is basically just Oklahoma, but way prouder. Like, it really is, because you look at the area and everything, same thing. But as soon as you cross into that state, you're just like, yeah, this place sucks. The road's shitty. I need to go back to Texas. But in reality, we're all just kind of me and SWEEZE are from this town where the world's largest inland refinery is.
At one time, I mean, at one time, Saudi, Saudi probably might took it.
And so
our
we were
raised for 40 years, and we worked shift work, and we were left to our own vices at like 8, 9, 10 years old because our grandparents would go to sleep early. So we weren't restricted on things that we could watch growing up. We weren't restricted on R-rated movies. It was like the best time to be alive in the 90s because like we were watching Tales from the Crypt at like 7 years old, getting creeped out and having nightmares. We were doing all this wrestling, and we were doing all the stuff that we envisioned. So now we're 35 years old and doing the same stuff and putting it out there, hoping to be relatable. That
I think because you go through, as you get older, you go through so many different hardships, and you start realizing, you know, it does come back to being genuine with people, because people change, things happen in life, and you kind of eventually get to know, like, you know, a lot of people are just so selfish in the world. Sumo Dog is on it.
Sumo Dog is here.
And I think so it's one of these things where, we mess up. We all say we do bad things, you know, we do things we regret, but we grow over time. And the fact that we can actually be in our 30s, and because we face so many hardships in life, I know personally, I have been able to keep myself alive, and I'm more than willing to go scrub a toilet for anything, like a job. I will hustle if I need to, you know.
If you can listen to a podcast, and podcasts save lives.
They do.
The Unfiltered podcast got me out of depression. The Unfiltered podcast got me over my wife leaving.
Well, you know, I mean,
that's just someone else's story.
And that's something we don't realize either, is when we podcast, like, how do we impact others' lives when, all we really do is we yap, and we also and then conversely for Crash Out connoisseurs, we're making fun of Cyrax, and we're making fun of Chris Chan, and
R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P. Chris Chan. He's still alive.
I guess if you say so. It's
Well,
I don't know. Mentally, he's been checked out.
He's
for
dead to
years.
Swizzle. That's what it is.
Been
He's
checked
dead
out
to
for a
Swizzle.
long time. So a question I got for you guys is, I know you guys you guys have done like the general podcast, and then you guys branched out into Small Town Eats, and Swizzle, you've done Divine Introspection, which like Doug was a big fan of. Like Doug was like, that's cool. Like, so when you guys revive your content, you get it going when you guys get it going this summer, what are some things for people to expect along with a return of the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast?
So I'll take a short summary of kind of where we're headed is we're not going to force ourselves to do anything we're not like wanting to do. So like, thank you for having us on to be able to share like our story to get to this point. And it's basically like, we want to have under an umbrella is what I've always envisioned it as, like SWEEZE and SWIZZLE. And if SWIZZLE's not there, there's no Tanner without Suede. So in my eyes, it's like SWEEZE and SWIZZLE is the brand. SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast is where me and him catch up on what we're doing separately. I'll have different things that he may not be interested, like wrestling. Like I would do something like wrestling, or I might do something like a hip hop music review or a country album or like a concert, or I might find somebody that I found on YouTube deep in the TikTok hole. And same with him. Like he may do some things, but I'm hoping it's under the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE brand. And what we're going to do with the new season, we're working on getting footage and content to have it out soon and consistently is basically what it is. I want to do interviews, sketches, short form, like keep everybody interested. I think that right now, until we get our podcasting chops up and we're a little bit more comfortable going an hour with an hour Patreon's too long. So like these short little segments and little bits that we do in like our everyday life and like what we see and like following the journey and documenting like where we talk about where we're going through what we're doing, and we're leading on to the direction of what we will be with this channel. So SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast under an umbrella. I'll do the SWEEZE cast with my friends, and that'll be streaming, like talking about wrestling, very topic related. But then the vision with SWEEZE and SWIZZLE is to come together and we both contribute to a show, like a weekly recap, but not necessarily weekly, just when we can get it out and keep to a schedule. So that's where we're at now, I think. SWIZZLE, you're up.
Yeah. So
tag. I don't know which side you're on. I just know this is still a sweet sandwich. Am I right?
You're still in the middle of the SWEEZE sandwich.
So Divine Introspection, right? It originally started as like so really that's kind of that podcast is kind of, it's honestly, it's a very vulnerable thing for me, because I'm just laying it all out there, what I've been through, because my life has taken some very wild turns in 10 years, anywhere from being a patient at the rehab to being a person that is admitting people to the rehab to being in graduate school to being in prison, and it's all just these little twist turns and all this stuff. But the cool thing is, through all this, I've met so many different types of people. And because I was so fortunate and blessed to have, our mom and dad, they loved us, and they're like, we want the best. We're not giving up on you. It allowed me to process my own trauma throughout my whole life. And I've met all these people. So I'm also going to bring on a guy that I met in prison. And it was kind of one of these things, because when you go in these things, I'm sorry, not prison, 22 state mandated vacation, 22 months of state mandated vacation.
It's a good way to put it. Summer camp.
How did it
They
get
forced
like
you.
okay?
They forced you.
So just some
Oh, no.
context. Yeah,
So
this
that's really
all
gonna-
started with our live in Canyon like 15 years ago, which brings us back
Yeah.
full circle to this moment, which is we were drinking 6 months after our dad passed away. We lived in an apartment and didn't really get along, and all the things that happened at college and then all the things that happened after. Growing up, I mean, Swade was overweight and he had gastric bypass, right? And then
let's face
drinking
Not
is
overweight.
not a good mix. So that really added to like the depression and how you see yourself. And that's the big context of like divine introspection, is like building self-confidence and recovery talk and like motivational speech of like checking in and letting him know what is going on in his life. And not a lot of people have that. So 15 years of bad choices led to him spending 22 months away from us and dealing with the hardest part of life, living in a warehouse with 120 other guys in East Texas and 120 degree heat. And we see him for the first time in almost 18 months and he doesn't even look like the same person. So on my side of it is like all these choices that my little brother made, we're going to get through this. It's going to be okay. That's all that I could really say to him at the time in the moment. But then outside of it on Twitter, I'm like, yo, SWEEZE and SWIZZLE, when he gets out, we're doing a podcast. And I mean, it just led from drinking and like being too alone and not handling yourself very well and not reaching out when you needed to. So I think those are the big messages that I see as a listener from his podcast. I mean, yeah.
And my big thing is too, because you really can be whoever you want on the internet, but I've just been through so much and I paid so much money to counselors and all. I'm cool with my demons now. I don't need to fake who I am and what I've been through. I don't need to do that. So I want divine introspection to be like, this is how life is, like this sucks. So like everybody goes through so many things. And for me, COVID really was a changing point. Not for me, like personally, but also like life just completely shut down. I was working at a treatment center. I was attending AA. I was doing all this. I was sober, but I was still actively in addiction. I was in an addictive mindset. I was being kind of like a negative person. I was incredibly selfish. Now I look back on that and I can admit all this. And it's more just about the progression. And I really want people that are willing to be genuine, and when I was in East Texas, I met this guy and we're very similar background. He was my age. It's weird. I met a lot of people my age, similar thing. His dad had died when he was 20. And then his first charge he got in, it was over alcohol. And then eventually he got into some harder stuff. And then he went down this whole rehabs, all this, so he's also played the same thing. But when you see this guy, his name's John Boy and he has face tattoos. You look at him and you're like, oh man, that's a scary prison guy. But then you start talking to him and you start realizing, oh man, this is just a normal guy, So it's like meeting that. And I think that's one of the coolest things that me and SWEEZE have discovered with the actual interacting with people that love skanks and actually doing that, because he's great at interacting with him. I'm terrible with
so
messaging people.
So like his awareness and like how to handle comedy, and like I've built these relationships up over 5 years. I've met these people that from the internet in person, and like we've hung out multiple times. Like I can talk to them, and then SWIZZLE comes in, and since he's associated with SWEEZE and SWIZZLE, he may not be the most like friendliest type or know how to handle a situation. So then even something like when we did our podcast, we had like 3 episodes a year and a half ago because we couldn't stick with it. It was just things happen in life. It was really hard. We made excuses. We didn't stay consistent. I didn't feel like I had the support system. So there's a ton of content to look forward to. And like with SWIZZLE and his drug addictive recovery type thing that he's going on, and with my and inviting sibling revelry and Dave Rung the Stinker. And, if I'm lucky, these other people would be invited on and would love to jump on something to have a conversation with, So once we just find the backing and like the vision, I think we've kind of narrowed it down to where it's just like, we have everything set up for youtube.com/SWEEZE and SWIZZLE pod. So that'll be the central location for everything. We are going to have a $1 Patreon a month until summer at least. We're just hoping to get at least 50 subscribers. We filmed
Give us
probably
your money, dude.
Yeah, so we wanted to be about like being transparent with our audience so they can see the journey. Like I have zero idea of how to video edit or, press record on my phone and get it from my phone to my email to upload it to YouTube. So there's a lot of process where I'm been having to figure out the best way. So understandably so, I think overcoming those like small obstacles and getting those little wins and appreciating like somebody commenting or somebody coming into the chat of the live podcast, like, and interacting with them, that's just the best feeling. So, we've had a lot of success in it. And check out Billionaire Podcast Network. So that's kind of, we're big fans of Dalton Pruitt over here.
Right. And, me too. The only thing I kind of shake my head when it comes to Dalton is he's really bad about answering DMs. Because I had one time where I was kind of like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to like just do a surprise and bring in Dalton on a Sunday. And I know he does the Arena of Ideas with Robbie, and then he does Corn Fed, and then I was like, you know what? I need to give you a little bit more of a heads up next time, Dalton. But like, I just have to figure out a better way to contact him, and it might have to be through Dave. And
see, I mean, that's kind of the ways that we figure out.
I don't take it personally. I just amuse me.
You have to realize when I found Dalton Pruitt on the internet, it was a YouTube adjacent, had like 1,000 followers, and they were 3 New York comics grinding it out in all these open mics in Brooklyn, like pre-COVID. And then 6 months later, our older brother, who's 6 years older than us, our half brother, he had tickets for this comedy festival, Skankfest South, in 2020. It was like the first thing opening up during COVID. And I mean, to be fair, it was the same weekend as the Travis Scott Astro World tragedy.
That
and
disaster.
We were staying in the same hotel as most of the Astro World people. So when that tragedy happened Friday night, they were planned for Saturday, Sunday, and Skankfest was only at a block of one road that only probably could fit 2,000 people, and there were 15 to 20,000 at the Astro World. So when we met Dalton, when I discovered Dalton Pruitt, it was through Legion of Skanks, Gas Digital Network. This is somebody that I watch on YouTube. That Big J Okerson was on Comedy Central. Like, this is a comic that I've followed since college. So like, our older brother has tickets to a comedy festival in Houston. We could come down and visit him. And we went, and Dalton Pruitt was one of those comedians, and a live show with Robbie Goodwin and Dalton Pruitt was one of the first things that weekend. We stood in line, and the first person we saw at Skankfest was Dalton Pruitt, Robbie Goodwin, and it was the most funniest show because it was packed. Everyone was in line, ready to see comic, and comedy wasn't even really that big. Like, Shane Gillis had not blown up yet, but Shane Gillis was there.
It just got canceled.
Yeah, just got canceled like a year before. But Shane Gillis was on the Bonfire with Big J Okerson on Sirius XM, like circa 2018. Like, before Shane Gillis got Saturday Night Live, before he got canceled, as he was getting canceled, he was riding the subway to a Legion of Skanks live podcast. And at every stop, he's sitting here, he's saying, first stop, he's like, ooh, not good. Next stop, ooh, even worse. And then third stop, it's like, Shane Gillis fired from SNL. He's like, yeah, kind of figured that one. So all of our love of stand-up comedy goes back deeply rooted from 2018 to 2020. So I've done a lot of practice listening to so many podcasts. I used to listen to like 15 hours of podcasts when I'd work 12 hours a day and play video games to wind down the night. So I think podcasts and segments and how to run a podcast seems okay, but I need Swizzle's creativity. I need that vision. I need that spark. I need that Douglas is a dope. I need that Paul from Sibling Revelry. I need Dave Wright the band to bounce things back and forth at 5 a.m. on Twitter, because that's content. Like, that's ideas that are going to be something. So just very thankful for like how appreciative I am of this platform of networking, like meeting people and putting ourselves out there, and Swizzle sharing his story, and like all the comments and all of our socials will be in the comments. So, I mean, it's just like, we're going to use the opportunity. Here's our 15-minute elevator pitch. When this stream started, me and Swizzle did not know how to explain ourselves. I'm a Libra.
I'm just a dude. I'm just a
17
guy. I
minutes
hang
of
out.
SWEEZE
I make
ranting,
stuff.
panic
I mean
attack.
well.
We did not have our 15-second elevator pitch, but now we do.
Well, also, so we've spent a year and a half. A lot of that too was because mentally I just had to readjust back to society, really. Yeah, back to the streets, like being back in the wild, because when you're kept in a room for so long, like I remember, I think the most I did in one room, never left the room once, it was 136 days, and I stayed in one room, and at 7 a.m. the lights turn on and they stay on until midnight, and the TV turns on. You can't turn TV off, and you're locked in this small space with these 6 guys. So when I got back out, I also got the tour of Texas, because they were like, I got sit down to Houston, this, and this. Galveston.
So first off,
he's full experience.
First
and
off,
then,
he was so here's how he ended up there. So it was
we'll get to that.
It was his 32nd birthday, and we had gotten into comedy shows. It was about a year after Skankfest South, and we went and we had the time of our lives at Skankfest South. So we loved comedy coming off that buzz. And there were some comedy shows coming up in Oklahoma City. Swizzle was on probation, and then ended up like driving to a Hans Kim from Kill Tony of all people.
Oh,
I got beef with you, Hans Kim.
Hans Kim is kind of like
22 months of my life away, Hans Kim.
He's kind of the lolcow of one of the biggest popular #1 live podcasts on YouTube, Kill Tony. Okay. So he's a lolcow of that. He's a comic that he started out like living in his van, went from Brooklyn to Austin. He was an open micer. Tony Henchliff got into some controversy about an Asian joke that he made. So then the next Kill Tony episode, he had to get an Asian to get back on the good graces of everyone. So he, this comic that got pulled out of the bucket and came up, he was an Asian guy. And he's like, "You're the funniest person I've seen in months." And then he made him a star, and like just as a bit to like, get back in the good graces of everyone and not be canceled. So,
but some people just can't handle fame. You know what I mean?
So this was like not the best comedy show, but as an older brother, I wanted to invite him to Oklahoma City. Then he got in a wreck, and then so he started out in Pampa, and in Pampa he was there for 8 months, and then from Pampa he gets transferred to the state, the gatekeeping system of all the big prisons. So he goes down to south of Abilene. And I didn't talk to him for almost 4 months at this time. So like going from Pampa, 30 minutes away, where I could come visit him like once or twice a month, to like 8 months later going to isolation for 100 and so days. Over 3 months I didn't talk to him, and who knows what's going on there, because that's where everyone in the state of Texas goes, no matter what. So wouldn't recommend getting into a position where you're going from county jail to state jail, because you go in with everyone, no contact with your family. And the next thing you know, he's down south of Burleson, Texas, south of Fort Worth for about 3 months with some hillbillies and rednecks. And then he ends up shipped to Henderson in East Texas over by the Louisiana border. Yeah. And then at that point, like 4 months later into this 20 months, I had seen him for the first time. We drove like 14 hours to go see him. Didn't recognize him. 2 months later, he gets out. We start the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast within a week.
So,
and we did the small town eats and all the other videos that we did on our channel, which they are going to be public again. We're comfortable with sharing everything. So along with interviews and podcasts, that's where it'll be.
We've got to the point where let's face facts here. I'm a dishwasher at a restaurant. That's how I pay for my living. I really don't have much to lose right now.
Gotta pay for the bills somehow.
Yeah.
No, but see, the cool thing is
ain't gonna sell themselves.
Moving back, so I've been gone from Borger for 12 years, right? Like I did not live in Borger. So then I came back to my hometown, and I started realizing, like, man, this place actually is super beautiful. So I started doing these things, and it's a series that's also coming up, and it's called Side Quests with Swizzle. And the thing is, the town, specifically the county we're in, Hudson County, is where the last American Indian Wars happened, right? Quanah Parker, and all of that happened right here in our own backyard. So what I've been doing over the course of a year is I'm going out, filming videos and taking historical markers, reading the signs, and showing you what it actually looks like. And then I'm trying to mix up some some graphics of like what pictures looked like back then and then kind of overlay it, stuff like that. So that's just the historical context. That's one thing I'm always kind of been into, along with true crime and stuff like that. I've always kind of been obsessed with the macabre of life.
What does that mean?
Makes sense.
No.
Like the macabre, like the stuff that's not.
It was all good until you said that one word I didn't know.
Well, like, oh man, we were raised on Dateline, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand Dateline. Oh yeah, I mean I grew up on Dateline too.
We're sitting there with murder mysteries every week. You know, I was one of those kids who like. Part of my journal was like Eazy-E, rappers, all this. The other side was like BTK. Who are these guys? Look up, look up all this like crazy stuff that you don't want to talk about in real life that they kind of shield you from, And it's just kind of, I've always kind of been obsessed with like the human aspect and nature of it. But that series is going to come out because we're right here. We're going to go out to Palo Duro Canyon, second largest canyon in the United States. It's gonna be naturey. It's gonna be whatever.
Okay.
But really,
I got
that's
you.
something. It's getting there. There's a lot of stuff.
He walks the dogs a lot, so we've talked about a walking the dogs podcast as like just a segment if we got something good going while we're there.
That's the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE 2 mile podcast where we're gonna take you on the podcast with us live.
It's our trip to a 5K.
Yeah, and we are both over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
We may hit a Chinese buffet before.
We're gonna set a goal. We're gonna be 265 by summer.
There you
each
go.
pod season.
I think a good question to ask, and I think Panda brought it up just a few moments ago, is when is the start? What is the projected start date of the run?
Right now, baby. We're doing it. We're doing it right now, baby.
So it starts right now. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing right now. We're podcasters officially. We're on a podcast.
This is the official announcement of how we're back to podcasting, and then there will be content posted within the week. And
we're only 19,000 hours closer to being professionals.
I think that
is it 20,000 hours? No, it's 2,000 hours. My bad.
No, get your 3,000 hours in or whatever to master something. Is that what you're talking about? Like,
yeah, and we've officially mastered Chinese buffets.
So I think so it's an immediate. We're gonna be posting clips. We are working on like an intro to the song or an intro to the podcast that will come with a song and that will come with a visual element. We're going to be going to different places and talking about them and doing things in a better way, because I feel like our story of Onions Cafe and Burger could have been told a little bit better if we had the chance to know what we know now. I think we would have recorded and given it an actual fair shot, like put some work into it, do some transitions, talk with the business, be allowed to do that, not do some like covert hope this doesn't get us kicked out of town type thing.
Like the All Subs episode.
Yeah,
that was a good one, by the way. It was very fun.
Yeah, so
also reached out to us over that.
Yeah, so after the initial Onions Cafe where we were just like we were really covert in that, and it wasn't really, there was a lot more to say in that, and I think there's a video by the Day Tripper who did it more justice. So we watched that video, thought it'd be funny to be like a SWEEZE and SWIZZLE dipshit, two dumbasses, two bodacious brothers from Burger. I mean, clip that, edit. Yeah. So we go in there and we really just we need to be more respectful for things of how like we handle what we want to put out. So just learning different things, like what I would do different about the All Sips one, and because we had we had the Onions Cafe where we did it covert, then we went to the China buffet and there were no rules there. They would have let us do anything we wanted in that buffet. It felt like, I mean, there was nobody there, but cops probably would have been called. And like even closer when we started doing the All Sips ones, like there's 5 different All Sips in Burger. One was shut down. We went to the first one, they told us get out immediately. We went to the second one, we went in and kind of checked out the place to get some angles. We walked in, didn't even have 45 seconds of coverage, not in a good angle, so that wasn't any good. So we went to the third one at night, and we were thinking like, hey, maybe the night shift guy's a little bit looser. No, he wanted to call the cops. We should have got out of there a little bit quicker. And then like at the time, SWIZZLE had just gotten out of jail, so like we had to shut it down because the people All Subs reached out to us and was just like, hey, this is not You need to you need to make this not, because before we actually do send something your way, and it's like, okay, well,
A cease and desist.
I do not want to be on Allsup's bad side, but I think that's just something
World
you
famous
learn.
burritos. We can't
like,
burn that bridge.
like someone who really had a bad drinking problem back then, and then, well, but I mean, someone who just got out of prison shouldn't be going to the Allsup's at midnight trying to get footage of, hey, I'm a 32-year-old man and I'm just here to film. Like, not the best way. So we've learned some things with we're putting out the content in a way that it's more polished, more produced, more in the moment. And we'll also do those live streams like next week. Let's say WrestleMania is next week and Swizzle's going out of town. So I'll be here alone at my house, no plans, and I'm just going to probably stream with somebody if they're interested and do something. And see, that's an option that would have been out of the blue. Like, now that we're on the Unfiltered podcast, we can post a video. Then I can post plans to stream or something on a WrestleMania, or, I could do something for a Monday Night Raw reactions, or I can do something, a sibling revelry after dark on Saturdays. I could be able to get this platform to our benefit at this time because of what we learned. So
I have a WrestleMania story for all y'all.
Right.
You guys will love it. I have a WrestleMania
I've been to two
story.
WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, remember back to coming back full circle through content with you. When I went to WrestleMania 4 years ago by myself after my breakup, I was on Discord, which I learned Discord for the first time through you. And then I told y'all like boots on the ground updates.
You were very excited, to say the least.
Yeah, that was wild.
So I had a chance to go to WrestleMania. And it was like last Saturday. And
what did I say immediately to you though when you told me?
It was go. But
it was go, but then I thought about it immediately and I'm like, oh wait, he might.
My friend Ray was like, hey, do you have our friend Adam's number? And I was like, yeah. Like, well, yeah, I'll get it to you. Well, or I just contact him through Facebook or whatever. And I'm like, well, why? And he's like, well, I mean, I have a friend that's giving us WrestleMania tickets for us to go out there. And I was like, well, I'll go. Like, I'll throw my name in the hat.
I'll hop on a plane and get my butt to Vegas.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, all right. So the hotel and the tickets are paid for, right? And Ray's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I just have to figure out a way to fly out. So I ended up like buying plane tickets. I did splurge, or yeah. Well, I took out a loan with mom, but here's where things went sideways. I ended up calling, like, another friend of ours backed out, and his name was Dan. And Ray's like, why is Dan backing out? I don't understand. And I'm like, well, let me call Dan and we'll figure it out. Like, let me try to talk.
WrestleMania Vegas is a big ask. Like, not everybody could do what you did, Yeah,
like, exactly.
Did they plan for it? Did they have this plan longer? Did he have time? Is that something?
Dan did plan for it. So when I talked to Dan, he was like, this guy that bought all the tickets and everything, like he's got some red flags to him. And I was like, okay. And the more I talked to Dan, the more he seemed reasonable. And I was like, okay, now you got me convinced. So I'm like, Ray, hey, do me a big favor. This friend is, we just want to see receipts. We just want to be like, hey, we just want to see just forward emails over to Ray, and then Ray can share them, and then we're in.
Reasonable, because okay. When you plan to fly halfway across the country from where we are, I did it a year ago. I got tickets a week to Skankfest. I had to get to New Orleans from Amarillo. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at Amarillo, and when you told me this, I was looking at the flights. I was just like, okay, no matter what to do through the flights available, you had to go to Dallas to get to New Orleans from Amarillo. Mm-hmm. But also there's like one option from Amarillo to Vegas, but it's like ridiculous. It's like 3 times what it is to go to Dallas. So yeah, so that's where my mindset was when you told me I have the opportunity to go to WrestleMania. I sit here and I'm like, I think of the 2 times that I went. The first time was with my ex-girlfriend and Swizzle. and we sat in the nosebleeds, and at least we went to WrestleMania and we said that we've done it. Because nowadays we watched the screen, and then so the second time I went, I wanted to make it an opportunity to go where I was safe and make sure that the to and from the venue was good, and I had a hotel, and I wasn't staying with any sketchy person. So same thing as my trip last year. It's like you have to know you're safe. It's going to be feasible. It's not going to break you. And if there's any like red flags, like, you know, that guy said, yeah, you just move from there and be like, I wouldn't do it personally.
So then it came to a head when, like Ray was like, hey, call me back. And it was like at noon. So I call him back at about 2. And then this guy pops on, and that was the friend that, you know, wanted to buy all the tickets and the hotel and everything. And the first,
hello, my name is John. It just sounds Indian. It's like,
I don't even get like I don't even get like, hi Tyler, my name is Bill. Like it's nice to meet you. Like he wasn't even.
Do you like to eat?
Yeah, he wasn't even Indian, so no worries there. But it's not even like a hi Tyler, nice to meet you. I'm Bill. And I'm just using a throw-in name because I don't want to name this dude. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't deserve to be named.
He didn't give us first name, last name, Sweeze from the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast.
And, you know, I've heard a lot about you from my friend Ray. The first impression I got is this guy looked like he rolled from underneath a gutter. He was smoking like a chimney, like straight up cigarettes, like cancer sticks. And, you know,
who does that anymore?
Yeah, who does cigarettes anymore? And he's bitching about Dan. And he's like, Dad, he's a motherfucker. Like, he lies to you. Don't believe him. And I'm like, Bill, I've known Dan for 25 years. I've known Ray for 25 years. I've known this other guy, Jesse, for about 10 years. I've just met you today. Like, we have a little discrepancy here. And he wouldn't listen to me. I had to talk to him like he was a child. And I had to interrupt him. I was like, and he was dropping F-bombs, and I was like, hey, watch your language. Like, there's better words to say. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm just so fucking pissed. What are we doing? And he hangs up, and I'm like, Ray, this guy is a walking red flag. And he was lying to Ray leading up to it. Like, he was like, like he would plan to go over to Ray's house and try to book the flight. And he would be like, oh, well, my wife has like a doctor's appointment. My daughter got sick, or I got COVID now. Like, I think this guy's full of shit. Like, I mean,
where did he meet this guy?
Over PSN. So like, okay, like I've known Ray for 25 years, and you know, I treat Ray like a
PSN
brother.
friend.
I treat Ray like a brother, and Ray.
PlayStation Network shout out.
Yeah, PSN shout out.
I wish that I could just remember what's in my PlayStation inbox right now. It's like, hello, sir, I'm in Nigeria and I need funds, and I found you, T-Sweeze. Please help. I
need to buy back my kingdom.
Well.
Yeah.
A bunch of Indians being like, yeet.
Oh my God. So like my, where was I going? Yeah, I was just like, I've known Ray for 25 years, and Ray is the worst judge of character I've ever known. He has these friends that just step on him and gaslight him and take advantage of him. And Ray is a nice guy until you piss him off, and then he does. Then he rages out, and then he gives you a hip toss like onto a linoleum floor. But but I digress. But yeah, like this guy, like he's listening to this guy over friends that he's known for 25 years. And I'm like, Ray, what are you doing? Like,
what's he getting? He's getting something out of this.
He's
not.
He's either going to get raped, or he's going to be like dead off the strip is what I'm worried about. So
he's going to be sold into a
human trafficking.
Wealthy people. Yeah. And there's going to be wealthy people like wrestling in a Olympic style wrestling in a gym. In a basement in Delaware.
That would probably be the best for him though, because like then he would get in shape, and then I mean, Well, he
Yeah,
he
maybe
has
that's
done
what
the
we all
Ow My
need.
Chest DDTs, so
Right. So, I mean, it does go without saying that there are cool people in the chat. Like, it's not, but I mean, when I did Corn Fed and came into my Skankfest tickets, those are well sought out. The Skankfest sells out for the last 5 years, the 3 years in Vegas,
I
last
couldn't
year in
even
New
get
Orleans.
Skankfest tickets.
Yeah.
They sold out that quickly.
Right. And see, this is how I've become a Skankfest professional, being my 6th year I'm going this year, and I didn't buy tickets, and I'm going. I'm gonna be there because I know how this is gonna work. Where it's like, I know that from the chat, I've met people, I've talked to people on social media, other platforms than a YouTube chat or a Rumble chat. I've found where they live. We've talked about our lives and families. We've talked about
Social
going
security
to
numbers.
Skankfest. So one time I was in the chat just as any person, and Dave Wrong the Stinker, Dave W the band, shout out Dave Wright. But yeah, he said that he wasn't able to go, and whoever could get to New Orleans could just go. And I sat there for almost 2 days having a mental breakdown, panic attack of, all I have to do is get to New Orleans. Like, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be, I just started this job. Like, I could totally just figure this out if I find the perfect way. But I was very hesitant, and I would have spent up to thousands of dollars on a hotel, travel, hanging out by myself. So instead, I used the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE influence and the building the audience that I've done over the last few years, being like, dude, I'm going to Skankfest and I'm fucking terrified. I'm going by myself. And finally, like, someone from the chat was like, yo, I have a place that you can stay on the Box Spring, and you can come to Skankfest and stay. And come to find out, it was the hotel that all the comics were staying. So next thing you know, intercontinental breakfast that morning, I'm sitting there, putting a hurting on the eggs and all the, we were at the Hampton Inn, baby, downtown New Orleans. Like, the situation had ended up being open and vulnerable, which is how I've done on Twitter, being drunk sometimes, and sometimes I go too far, but sometimes people actually reach out and be like, dude, are you okay? And it's like, dude, I'm fine. And it's like, well, how are these going? And then we develop friendships, and we end up, like, I staying on the dude's couch in New Orleans, and I left Amarillo, and I was so worried, like, I don't know this guy. I have no idea about what he's doing. He's driving 6 hours away to this comedy festival to see all the people that we like. Surely he can't be too bad. It's 2 days in a hotel. We're going to be walking and going to the venue a lot. And come to find out, he ended up being one of the best people to meet because it was a great time. There weren't this crazy party lifestyle. I didn't feel uncomfortable in New Orleans. I was very isolated with all the Skank fans, which are very similar to wrestling fans. A 3X big dude, bearded, beanie. Legion the Skanks logo. Okay. Just wanted to but yeah, like, when you go to something like WrestleMania, you don't want to have somebody who's sketchy and has red flags and, like, you can't trust on a road trip, because then you're going to look back 10 years later being like, damn, me and Rex Reed really went all the way to Philadelphia and ended up doing 4 hours in Manhattan. Like, you have
That
these years,
happened, by the
years
way.
later. So you're just like, man, imagine if it went a different way. So, like, imagine if you did go to WrestleMania and you met this guy and it was amazing. Like, you were able to be there by yourself in the moment with the people that you were with, and you were there. At least you were there. That's what I always told myself. At least I'm involved. At least I'm doing something. But you don't want to have it be a negative experience where you're always like, damn. Because one of the Vegases, and I'm telling you that Skankfest is probably one of the happiest times of my life, and the people that I've met and all these people through podcasting and everything that I do. That's why I continue to always say that I'm going to do the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast. So I'm doing this because of all the hard work that I put into it, something I love, and met so many people. And then I go to Vegas and had a decent time after the time in Houston. But then the second time, my older brother had to leave, and I ended up in Vegas on Fremont Street for a 3-day comedy festival by myself. And I felt so alone. And I was at the thing that I loved. I was like, hell, I'm at Skankfest. Louis J. Gomez is wearing a piñata, beating people up in the ring like comedy fans. Like, this is chaos. And people are leg wrestling, and it's just everything about Vegas would have sounded awesome, but I was just alone, and it was like, man, this is awful.
Yeah.
So those experiences, good and bad, you can learn from them. I honestly think you made the right decision, because immediately after texting you, I just thought about all that angst I had in Vegas of like, man, that stadium is right next to Excalibur, and Excalibur, it's about a 4-mile walk over to that stadium, and to park is like $100. And like, if you don't have all those little particulars thought out this close to the trip, you're not going to figure it out. And Vegas, you're going to get taken advantage of, just like you're going to get taken advantage of in New Orleans. And that's kind of with podcasting, like, expect the unexpected. It's like going to Skankfest New Orleans, Skankfest Vegas. It's like going to WrestleMania Vegas.
Yeah.
Podcasting is unpredictable. And, you know, even though I say try not to look at the comments, I think reading the comments and caring too much about what people say about me on Twitter had a lot to do with like the failure of not wanting to continue to do something like podcasting years ago. You know, I felt like I was trying to protect Swizzle. Like, I was like, maybe if I don't tweet so much about all these podcast stuff, maybe people will stop asking. Like, you see these red flags in your behavior and you're like, okay, well, you know, maybe there's a better way to just chill out and be cool about it. And no, I'm glad that you saw those red flags now rather than finding them out in Vegas, as he's like not picking you up when he said he would.
Right. And having to be like, I think I may need an Uber. Wait a minute. I also need a hotel too. Oh God, these hotels are expensive. Like, I was just like, I just don't want to sleep in a cardboard box once I get out to Vegas and then be like, okay, all right, how the hell did I get back to the airport? You know,
and that's
and
what
the Uber to the airport's like $50 too.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent $85 once.
So like 2 years before I went to Skankfest Vegas, Swizzle went to Vegas, and he was there for a bachelor party where people were like ready to party, ready to hang out. He didn't have that stability of like, well, I'm going to New Orleans with a 40-year-old guy from the corn-fed chat, so maybe it won't get too wild. You know what? We spent like $100 on Chinese food, so like we did get a little wild one night. But you know, so Swizzle is one of those people that's just like getting into one of those situations. He may lose his wallet in Vegas, and then he may be calling you 4 hours later, and you're like, is he gonna be okay? Like, I just got a call from him. He's in Vegas and surrounded by people yelling. So just unpredictability
is, you know, we went to Las Vegas when I was a kid, right? And that's when they had the dragon outside of Excalibur, and then the pirate ship. And
they had the lion outside of the MGM.
Yeah. And
and
didn't they get rid of that?
Terrified. Yeah, because Asian people in their heritage, they were not going to use that entrance or something because they thought their souls were going to be eaten. So it's good that we stayed at the Excalibur, Swizzle. We have our souls.
But I went back to Vegas as a 28-year-old man, right? So I can actually be in Vegas now, and I realized Las Vegas is just gross now. It's like everything's just about weed and gambling and drinking, and it's like they've took away all like the cool things.
They took away all the attractions, didn't they?
Yeah, it's just escorts now, and they're just walking up, and you're just like, I don't have any money, lady. I'm on the penny machine right now.
What I remember about that was like when we were kids, we went when we were like 14 and 10. And you'd walk outside. It was exactly like Chevy Chase's movie, Vegas Vacation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was what Vegas was like when we were kids. Now they don't have the hourly shows outside the Mirage with the volcano. They don't have the Pirates of the Caribbean at the Treasure Island. They don't have Bally's with the lights show. They don't have that 24-hour Coca-Cola place. Now it's replaced with Guy Fieri's, you know, Fast Fire Burger Flavortown ish. It's blocks of like industrial. And Skankfest was really cool because like off of Fremont Street, I walked 1.8 miles, which doesn't seem that far. Like I could walk 2 miles. I didn't think about the desert heat being 105 degrees, and I didn't have any water on me, and it was actually 1.8 miles if I went through alleyways in downtown Las Vegas, but it was like 3 miles. So I walked all the way from the Skankfest venue to the Golden Pond for the Pawn Stars place, and I was approached by about 12 homeless people on the way, and then almost 20 on the way back. Thankfully, the skanks rolled deep and the gomites were there for us, and everyone was real ass and scared everyone away. So, Skank Fest is where it's at. I'm very excited for it. So shout out to Dave Wright
what
for
did
the
they
ticket
do?
last year.
So with the big field, right, where the tragedy happened, did they build something there, or is that still just an open field?
It's a baseball stadium.
The shooting, you know what I'm talking about, in Las Vegas a couple years ago?
The Jason Aldean concert across from Mandalay Bay. They replaced it with the Oakland A's baseball stadium, right? Yeah.
Because the A's are building a ballpark there now. So
Tropicana got destroyed. So, that whole field was...
man. Yeah. That place is going to be haunted, right?
I don't know. I mean, I was out of the...
They might as well bring in a shaman, when
the Las Vegas
sage or whatever.
When the Las Vegas shooting happened, I was in Sweden with my ex-girlfriend. So I don't even, and also Ralphie May passed away. So in my eyes, Ralphie May's still alive. I was on Swedish hours when that happened. So
he didn't die in the shooting.
Somehow I Bill and Ted'd my way through getting past the Vegas shooting, and Ralphie May, may he live forever. Do you know who Ralphie May is? He's that huge white comedian, like 2010s era.
I don't even remember.
He came out on Jimmy Kimmel and fell straight on the floor. Like he missed the step. Yeah, he's a huge fat guy.
Ralphie May's
black people love him. He's kind of like Big J Okerson. Like he was on the black comedy circuit for a long time.
Patrice O'Neal. And they kind of did shows together. Oh, have you seen Tyler? Have you seen Ari Shaffir's Comedy Central show? This Is Not Happening. It's a bunch of okay, so I think you should look into that on YouTube. If you get that in your algorithm, you'll be able to hear the story of Bert Kreischer wrestling a bear.
What?
Or you'll hear the reason why Joey Diaz is so respected by Joe Rogan is for his storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear classic stand-up stories that everybody talk about, Tom Segura ODing in college, and it's where he drank a gallon of acid. He took 150 hits of acid. GHB. So Ari Shaffir had a show in mid 2000s called This Is Not Happening, but he was not the host for it anymore after 3 seasons. And it's one of my favorite YouTube stand-up comedy things because once it gets into your algorithm, you have a bunch of Comedy Central stuff. So when you get that in your algorithm, you start finding people like Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Joey Diaz.
They're reviving this too.
So in about 2 weeks. So in about 2 weeks, there's going to be a new season of Ari Shaffir's This Is Not Happening. And it's a storytelling show, essentially. It's and I'm talking how those true crime, I love true crime. I love Cyrax or Crash Out videos, the highlights that are under 20 minutes that you can just catch up on body cam stuff, up on. So comedy wise, Ari Shaffir's bringing back This Is Not Happening, but calling it the end. So he's not sued by Comedy Central, and that's coming out soon. And that's a big part. That's Skank Fest adjacent. So that's something big that's happening. Also WrestleMania next week. So you're not going to WrestleMania after this? Did you get your tickets refunded or?
They're credited.
Okay.
And I could just transfer them over to other people.
You trying to get a flight out to New Orleans in November?
I could. Very well could. But the big deal would be okay, tickets for Skank Fest, and then where to crash for a couple days during Skank Fest. So. Yeah,
so I would recommend
nobody
to anyone
sleeps
who's
during
listening.
Skankfest. Come on.
I mean, this is basically your crash course, and I like Skankfest. I like the comics. I think New Orleans would be cool to go to a comedy festival. You're not going to see much of the city. You're going, and then you're in a hotel recovering. When the comedy festival starts at 11 a.m. on Friday, you march a mile with 3,000 people, and you go straight into Legion of Skanks, and then it goes until 2 a.m. with wrapping up with Crack-A-Miko in the Palmer Square. So it's an all-day party. There's a pre-part if you get the VIP. So those people that bought tickets in February, who 3 months down the line, they're going to end up pregnant, on probation, their sister has a wedding. They're going to sell all these tickets that they paid $650 for Thursday night, and Thursday night gets you access to 2 hours of stand-up by probably the highest profile people there. Big J Okerson, Mark Norman, Shane Gillis was there last year. These huge artists on Thursday night pre-party and a musical guest. Last year it was Hatebreed. I'm not big into metal music or, like
New
Hatebreed.
metal. Come
So,
on.
yeah, I
Get it
don't
right,
know
Tanner. It's
Hatebreed,
new
but
metal.
you see 2 hours of stand-up from the highest profile people. You get a 2-hour concert, then Crackamico, Palmer Squares will play. Then it's Big J karaoke at 2 a.m. till 5. So
wow. Okay.
if you bought the VIP tickets, you're going to an episode of Story Wars. You're going to a concert. You're going to 2 hours of the greatest stand-up possibly out right now.
Mm-hmm.
And being so close to Austin, there's a lot of people that go to that. I walked in Vegas. Dana White, who owns the UFC, was right next to me in the crowd.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, is that Dana White? And my brother's like, yeah, dude. And it's like, he's a lot shorter than we thought he was. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it's just moments like that where you're sitting here, you have the Thursday, what I said there from the, Story Wars, 2 hours of podcasting concert. Friday, you have the Skank Parade, goes from the hotel to the venue and to Skanks. Then there's 4 other tents of live shows, everything going from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but also during the day on Saturday and Sunday outside, there's a wrestling ring, and they're going to have Juggalo Championship Wrestling there this time.
So
in New Orleans.
JCW will be there. Wow. Okay.
Absolutely. Because Gas Digital has partnered with the Insane Clown Posse.
Basically, Gas Digitals took over all the Midwest Wiggers.
So Gas Digital,
put them all in one building.
So yeah, Gas Digital is Louis J. Gomez's platform. He runs this festival, and his co-host Zach Amico is a comic and somebody that's really cool. Like, he does another podcast, the Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show, where he watches horror movies with guests and they commentate as it. So then once Zach Amico got so like hyping up JCW and the ICP guys liked him so much, he's been a color commentator on there, as well as being a traveling comedian and be a huge part of Skankfest. So yeah, there's rumors that Juggalo Championship Wrestling is going to be there for Saturday, Sunday, and they're also going to have the Skank fights, which comedy fans get involved in, like 20 fights, and this is all happening during the day. So last year there was also one of those.
If I run into Mosh Pit Mike
like a
at
carnival.
Skankfest,
See,
that would be very small
excited.
world.
It is. Everything has come full circle, and that's what this podcast has meant. Is SWEEZE and SWIZZLE are back. JCW is at Skankfest. Mosh Pit Mike,
what is
the
it?
man of a million gimmicks.
It was basically a garage on Amarillo Boulevard, and they just put a ring up in it.
Wait. Did this have anything to do with our fight against breast cancer?
Oh my God, the barbed wire against breast cancer.
He's talking about the Amarillo garage where
that's what it is. That's what it was. Yes,
we were all there, and we didn't even coordinate that we were all going. Like, we had talked about to each other, like, yeah, we might be there, or we might see each other at a show. That's actually probably one of the last times we hung out or saw you in person is on the boulevard for one of them Violent V throwing the bottles in.
Is Violent V still wrestling?
We saw you talking
Violent
to some
V
girls.
still wrestles.
He still wrestles.
He's still wrestling.
Hey,
so I currently have been
Palm City
messaging
bar fights. So SWIZZLE has been messaging all these wrestling things that we did, because he's like, I should probably document my journey. Since we're doing the podcast, I should probably document my journey to becoming a pro wrestler. So the other night he got drunk and messaged a bunch of wrestling pages.
Oh God.
No,
get your training first.
It's doing
That's what
research,
he's trying
Tanner.
to do. He was inquiring about training 15 years too late. That's what.
Well, no, everybody's giving me the same response. It's a lot of automated.
Diamond Dallas Page didn't start training to become a wrestler since he was 35. He was 35 when he started training. So you still got time. I don't. Tyler Liger is a distant memory.
I can't even.
You're the only one that can do this,
so.
SWIZZLE.
So Tyler, can you break down what your special was?
My special.
Your finisher. Yes, your finisher. So
I had a capo kick, kind of like Jushin Thunder Liger, because Tyler Liger came from Jushin Thunder Liger, and I was like, well, at first I was like, I'll do Jushin Tyler Liger, and then it evolved into Tyler Liger.
Do you know who that is, Swade? It's the white. It's the white
It's
and red.
yeah, that's what I was
Japanese.
saying.
Yeah, okay.
New Japan, right? Yeah.
WCW Nitro or
Yeah.
WCW versus NWO Nintendo 64.
Well,
Oh,
he
man.
also had the really good match with like Brian Pillman at the Mall of America show when Nitro kicked off. So there's your.
It was man. I've recently been discovering that they are running there's YouTube channels that run strictly just 24 hours Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Oh, that WCW one. I love when there was like 200 people watching, and I'm like, I'm watching Bash at the Beach '96 right now.
It's beautiful because
other people.
I'm sitting here and I'm just like, this is the wrestling I remember. Like it's all a story and like to like all of this, and then now it's so Dana White. You know, it's just so UFC and very technical, and it's an actual sport now. I don't know. I kind of miss the pageantry.
Yeah.
So how long was it that you thought you were going to WrestleMania and that happened? Was it within 24 hours?
It was like a few days.
So did it take time for you to get hyped about going to the show? Like, were you just gonna like dive into the deep end of watching like hour-long recap videos of all these rivalries, or were you just like, man, that could have been something I would have really enjoyed as a casual?
No, like I was just gonna go into it blind and see what happens.
What if you're like,
yeah.
CM Punk's back?
Yeah, CM Punk's been back. He dropped another pipe bomb. Like, what the hell? Like, well,
that
like,
one broke me because it's just like my mom. She's like, "Why is Bryan Danielson a commentator?" I'm like, "Well, he retired when they choked him out with that bag 18 months ago, Mom."
Yeah. I would have convinced a few of my friends to go to some independent shows while we were out there. I know Matt Robles. He, believe it or not, Matt is dating Missy Hyatt. Yeah, shout out Matt Robles. Really great guy, by the way. I was going to meet up with him, and we were going to go to a few indie shows together.
Was he involved at the warehouse?
He was after the warehouse.
Okay, that's
he
what
was
I was
after
thinking.
the warehouse. Okay. He was more with Squirt Circle Pro.
That's what. Okay, that's exactly who I was thinking of.
He was more so with Squirt Circle Pro, and but yeah, like he lives in Salt Lake City, and you know, he's a hot shot. Like he's got money, and
that's
he's
the one on
all
Facebook.
over. He's done a lot of stuff for pro wrestling.
Is he a commentator for?
No, he's more of a heel manager.
There you go. Okay. I was thinking of like the two. And then when you said Utah, I'm like, I know exactly who that is. Like, so Squirt Circle Pro, Lubbock. How they're coming, and you've had people on affiliated with the show, right? Like, so are they hyped for WrestleMania? Like anybody you've talked to, or you? I mean, because you were going in blind, but like someone who's in the business that you've talked to, are they hyped?
I mean, indifferent, I would say. I know some people that if they're out in Las Vegas, like Justin Taylor, and there's a few other guys that are gonna head over to Las Vegas. I think they're hyped up just because they're able to work during that time. But other than that, like, I mean, it's kind of indifference. I think.
Is there any rival AEW promotions? Like in the same city?
Okay,
so
AEW is not doing like a show there. The ones,
because I know a couple of years ago they were kind of doing that, right?
The ones I know of right off the top of my head, and that is
Major League Wrestling, Game Changer Wrestling.
I thought I was thinking like GCW would be out there, but
they're not doing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes lately what they've been doing is since they've been with TKO, they've signed an embargo where like you can't do a event within 90 miles or something, right?
Yeah, you got to be really careful. So there's a promotion called Devotion, which was on Thursday. That's at the FSW Arena. I think that's Future Stars of Wrestling. Really good promotion out of Vegas.
They went viral for the Michael Jackson impersonator.
Oh, did they?
That was they do shows on Fremont Street sometimes. And then a backdrop and Michael Jackson impersonator. There's a midget wrestling that that's JCW.
I was going to say they really need to do a Michael Jackson impersonator versus an Elvis impersonator.
Oh,
I think
when's the
Dan
last time you've
Housen
seen an
pulled it off.
Elvis impersonator?
Oh gosh, maybe. I mean, probably not.
Do they
since,
still
like,
exist?
I know.
I was
So,
like,
do they-
so
We
me
had
and
a guy in our town, and he was notoriously known all over the Panhandle as Smokey Binion Jr., and he was the one and only Elvis impersonator of the area. But he would hit retirement parties. When I was a kid in elementary school, he was constantly there. You think it's just because like everybody realized like Elvis kind of was just not a
Elvis
good
was
guy?
alive all along. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
He got canceled.
I don't know. I know John Wayne. Like people try to cancel John Wayne.
The cancel.
They cancel a lot of people.
It's gonna happen.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, but no, like I think the most notable one I've ever known was maybe like Honky Tonk Man. And yeah, good old Honky.
Yeah, I thought he would have been great on that reality show Legends House. Remember when they had everybody on there and it was like,
God,
oh, man.
I remember where they tried to
Tony
LARP.
Atlas is a weirdo.
Tony Atlas is weird. I remember the episode where they tried to LARP and they had like LARPers and live action role playing everyone. And Jimmy Hart was like trying to be a wizard and he was like, fair, like with his high shrill voice. And I
think before that he was trying to spread fairy dust on people and they're like, this is serious. So then he got serious and then went into that character.
Yeah.
I've watched a ton of Legends House. Like it's been embedded in my memory, dude. I miss the WWE network so much. Like
me too.
Because
I just, they just don't know what you just don't know what you got until it's gone. And the WWE Network was one of those things where they had Legends House, they had the Vault. The Vault was awesome. Like I love the Vault. Like
it was stuff that you wouldn't find, and then you'd go back and search it out and find the era, and then you could watch before, after, and then what happened, and then you could go do that with. I probably watched the Monday Night Wars probably 5 times, and that was over the course of 3 years. Like. Yeah. I hopped in with Cultaholic and Walk Culture and Adam Blampier and all these people these British guys that loved wrestling in the mid 2010s. And that was the time when it was good because the product wasn't great. And we totally got there with like WrestleMania 40 with Roman Reigns defeating Cody Rhodes. And then the next year, which I think was probably the only time that we would have got Roman Reigns versus The Rock, but Cody Rhodes politicked his way to finish his story, and the second title reign since had been terrible. So now you have this Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing, and it's like that's main eventing WrestleMania Night 1 with Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll in each corner respectively, and like I don't care. Too many celebrities, they shouldn't be in the main event. Travis Scott ruined John Cena Cody Rhodes last year. I'm not a fan of the retirement tour and how it ended. I'm back on Unfiltered podcast and I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but you guys gotta hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, Travis Scott's ruined a little more than just WrestleMania. I mean, he kind of like killed those people.
Probably like traumatized the Kardashian.
He brought everybody into the ritual sacrifice at the
we're talking Las Vegas shooting, ritual sacrifice,
blood for the blood gods, wrestling for the wrestling gods.
Louis J. Gomez would say this is totally core values.
Yeah.
Is anyone even in the chat? Like is anyone chatting?
Oh yeah, we our chat has been busy all throughout this show. It's been incredible.
Yeah. Can I show the chat my favorite little thing from Skankfest?
Yeah, you sure can.
It's a coloring book. So
the Skankfest coloring book.
Yeah, so in Vegas they had yearbooks, and for $40 they actually had like superlatives and most likely to all that stuff, and like you could walk around and get your yearbook signed by all these comics.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, this year they had the Skankfest coloring book, and yeah, totally cool vibes. But that was just something I found that I thought the chat would appreciate, because, like, as I sit here and listen to these podcasts, yeah. So the chat, look at me coloring Louis J. Gomez on a beach in Jamaica. Isn't that great? See,
my gosh,
the mountain of
back at WT, I read a book. It was probably one of my first like intro levels, and it was called "White Space is Not Your Enemy."
Oh, I remember that book.
So note how there is white space. Like Jay and Silent Bob right here on Celebrity Skanks, Hollywood Skanks. I took a lot of artistic creativity to, so I just want the chat to know that the $30 Skankfest coloring book had a maze.
Oh,
And I took my time with it. It's
Show
called
and tell right now.
Get the Skanks to, well, I'm proud of the chat. So I asked about the chat. So I had show and tell for the chat. And I mean, but $30 Skankfest
I have
gets
a
you this.
Vampiro mask from 1998 over here.
So many stools, but
real
only
deal.
one butt. So,
Have you guys ever watched the Vampiro documentary on YouTube?
I have not.
No.
It's
I've
honestly
seen, like,
it's crazy. Because it goes really in depth with who he is, because he's actually a Canadian guy, but he
Canadian
resided in
vampire,
Mexico
yep.
so long. Yeah, and
So-
but he runs the promotion in Mexico. He runs like a whole promotion and everything, and he's like so fluent in Spanish.
no, but then you
It's sad
understand
because I
that
feel like he never got the credit he actually.
you missed out on. A lot of people did. It was only on Netflix for a little bit, but Lucha Underground, like
Yeah, I
Vampiro
remember
comes
Lucha
back.
Underground.
Pentagon Zero, Pentagon Negro, Ray Phoenix, Io Sky, like everyone check out Lucha Underground.
I
Man,
thought
that guy
Vampiro was very underrated. Like
I love
his
Vampiro.
program was Sting in the late 90s.
That's probably
Yeah.
what Slade thinks about like Hogan and The Raw. Like Slade was so infatuated with fucking Vampiro versus Sting, where he gets all these facts wrong. Where I watched it and I remember it, and I've watched it so many other times, but he's just like,
excuse me.
no, no, you're wrong. And I'm just like, damn it. Okay.
No, I'm saying
I'll
so-
never be able to convince him otherwise that Vampiro didn't kill Sting a couple times. So okay, Swizzle, it happened.
man. So
He threw
I
him off
really
a
got
cliff.
into-
He threw him off a cliff in the rain. Sting got struck by lightning that Vampiro can control because he's Canadian. Okay.
I mean, that's the storytelling I'm talking about right there.
Hey, watch
Yeah,
out.
that's the beauty.
I mean, CJ couldn't control lightning.
Oh man,
Ooh.
CJ
The wizards.
Yeah.
he took my job. Pets' heads are falling off. No.
Anywho, I remember, what was it? Speaking of characters getting, unalived in Minecraft, on live TV, I keep on thinking of when Samoa Joe.
Charlie Kirk.
We are Charlie Kirk. I don't even
We're
remember. I don't
Charlie.
even- yeah, I don't even
forced
know.
gore. I got forced to watch that.
No, there was a storyline between Samoa Joe and Scott Steiner, where Samoa Joe got the face tattoo, and then he threw Scott
Oh.
Steiner in the trunk and drove away with
Man.
him.
2000
thought that-
TNA.
And people thought like Scott
Yeah.
Steiner died. You're like,
That's when that's the Sanjay Dutt, Kevin Nash, Shelton Benjamin period,
yeah,
and like that was
It was a
Jay
very
that
wacky
Lethal was
time.
Ric
man.
Flair. R-Truth became Ron Killings became the first black champion since like Farouk or something, like for
Yeah.
that title lineage.
that was back in that was at the primordial stage. That was when they were still in the asylum in Nashville.
Mm.
And see,
Yeah.
that time, at the time I was at WT and I was writing for the newspaper for the Prairie, so I put that as a credit that I got something published that you edited together when I did some rundown and like totally fixed. But apparently, being an established in a college newspaper was very enticing to some wrestling person who wanted somebody to write Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and TNA recaps. So there's this very like niche little area of 2011 to 2016 where I was just like totally locked in, like writing about wrestling and doing all that. But it was those days of TNA in a warehouse, and there's pictures of like Samoa Joe going into like a reception area, and then they're firing him type stuff, and it's just like,
Right.
what is going on in Nashville?
what is going on here? Yeah.
It was
Well-
Hulk Hogan, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. He really didn't help the business.
No.
So who gets his beer money now that he's dead?
Ooh, probably I think it stays within the family. Well, no, not within the family. It stays within the company.
So Nick's gonna get.
I
it
was
right,
like, Nick's
right?
gonna go wild if he has beer
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
maybe wrap a tree
Street
around a
racers
pole
better
again,
watch out.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
But the
my
daughter,
gosh.
she's looking good though, right? Brooke. She's
I
doing
don't
decent.
know. Probably old as hell now.
Oh, now I got.
I mean,
look.
I think about them, and at the same time, I'm still thinking about like Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife. She's
Tight.
dead. But
Beth.
she had huge titties, man. That was one of those things.
I'll remember you forever, Beth.
She looks okay. I mean,
It's not too bad.
No, but she's married, has a kid now, so she's straightened out.
Well, there has to be one of them, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely not Nick.
Y'all didn't hear the stories about when Hulk Hogan died? Brooke Hogan said they were estranged for like 3 years, and then she had a baby, and he didn't even want to see the grandkid. He only said, "I know he'll grow up to be I know the little Hulkster will grow up with a great family." He called his grandkid that he didn't want to meet Lil Hulkster.
Little Hulkster, brother.
And then he died like 4 months later. So yeah. Hulk Hogan's estate's probably down bad because.
But do you think that was more of a CTE or addiction thing?
No, I think Hulk Hogan has been fried for 20 years, and we just don't. We've just been living with it, like with Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair was ranting all week about now that he can't promote his THC gummies or whatever because he's associated with WWE, and he's like, "I'll take these Hall of Fame rings off for anything. I'm standing on my principles. I don't need it. I need weed." And it's just like it's all these people that we idolized.
It's really sad.
Don't meet your heroes, kids.
You either die like you either get unalived as Macho Man Randy Savage, or you live long enough to become Hulk Hogan and
Ric Flair. And then you're going on Kill Tony and Louis J. Gomez.
All we hear about Macho Man is heart exploding. You don't hear about him with several sex tapes and just feeling like a fat fucking pig.
I think I'd love to go out the way Randy Savage did, like having a heart attack when you're going and then
having a heart attack. Like it takes two catastrophic things to put you out.
Yeah. They can't kick out of that one, brother.
You aren't going from the top time, brother.
Right off the top rope into a tree.
Yeah. Oh,
R.I.P. Randy the Ram. Y'all know he died at the end of the movie,
Scott
right?
Hall also.
Yeah, that was
alluded.
Who farted? Welcome in. The
Hey, who farted? Welcome in.
So the beauty of asking
all
girls
three
to
look
fart.
like guys that would be the ones who fart. Oh, like I was saying, okay, we need these we need like backup IRL because Swizzle keeps getting into these beefs before our podcast even goes live. So about 4 months ago, like I talked about like having these relationships and hanging out with these comics and like posting clips and stuff. So I meet them in real life, and he decided to make like he swore he heard this girl on a podcast saying she farts like a man.
What?
That she was like this guy was
Zach
like
Amico Morning Zoo.
Zach Amico's Morning Zoo. And he swears there's a clip of this girl comic, Josie Marcelino. Shout out Josie, but very funny, very awesome at what she does. And Zach's like, "Hey, did somebody fart?" And then the other guy's like, "Yeah, who farted?" And then she goes, "You looking at me like I won't admit that I fart because I'm a girl? I swear I'd fart like a man." Right? Swizzle interpret like he remembers this. I can't find it. It doesn't exist. Like the guests that he says were there. So it's a bit in his mind, and he decided to like.
I have to explain. When everyone only sees one side of the bit, they're like, "What is this guy off? Is the guy off his rocker? Like, what's he doing? Like, what is he? He's crashing out." But when you actually here in a couple weeks get the other side of it, that this is an ongoing bit with several different videos already made of different people, because the reaction of asking girls just like the most like obvious questions. Like
so what he did is he messaged this girl
I trolled these beautiful women.
He messaged this girl at like 3 or 4 a.m. on her personal page and was like, "Yo, girl, you be farting." Like he had saw that clip that we described, and it was just like at 3 or 4 a.m. I need to ask this girl if she'd be farting. So then radio silence until like 7 a.m. and she's probably in her real life woke up for her job, getting ready to work. 9 a.m. was like, what was it? What it was the message after "you be farting"? Because it followed up with, "I know that thing be farting." Right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
I'll replay all my footage.
Here's the game of telephone that 3 months ago this has gotten to, where multiple podcasts are telling the story of Swizzle at 3, 4 a.m. yo, you be farting. And then at 7 a.m., I heard that thing be farting. And then at 9 a.m., it was like, dude, I don't know what you're on about. This is very personal. Like, please stop messaging me. It's creepy. And then your response was, dang, girl, I know you be farting like a man. At 9 a.m., this poor comment girl is in her daily life doing this.
But this is what we do, though. We sacrifice our privacy of not getting hilarious messages at 3 or 4 a.m. when we decide to be podcasters.
Not everybody has to be that guy, but at least a guy out there like Swizzle is doing the work.
Because people out there, there's dudes out there just sending pictures of their penis to these girls. I would never do that. So what I'm saying is, if you're trolling with a good intention of just, hey, girl.
Because you know what she did. She has a following and posted it, and it got public. And SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast, I got associated with it, or I was scared that I would be associated with. So I fessed up and was like, "I'm sorry, Josie. Like, my brother got drunk and messaged you. You be farting. I'm sorry." Like,
turned it into a bit.
And then, like 3 or 4 podcasts went on to talk about it, laugh about it, and then we were able to get the reaction clip of basically 3 a.m. text, and it's, yo, girl, you be farting. I know that thing be farting. It's like, dude, what the fuck? You know, like real life situation.
Am I wrong here?
Oh my God.
Did we all take the same ad PR marketing classes?
We did, and I agree that I saw a different side than probably like most people would, because at that point you were harassing the poor girl, and then she was feeling harassed, and you should have stopped. But then all the 3 podcasts were like, well, how the fuck did this even get out? And it's like, in reality, Swizzle got drunk, was in a bender, messaging all these weird people, messaging all these people he shouldn't have, night and day.
It's called
disappeared.
Content,
so then I was able to
Apparently
get on his. I was able to get on his Facebook. I screenshot it, posted it, and be like, "Yo, guys, I'm sorry. It wasn't me, even though I'm SWEEZE from the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast." And then, so this goes into the weekend when Josie's doing shows. And the comic Zach Amico, who's had her on his podcast a lot of times, he's pretty well known, Gas Digital. Yeah. He texted her like 20 minutes before she was going on stage to do a show. And he's like, hey, Josie, I have a personal question that I heard about you. I just want to ask you before, I judge. No judgment here. And she's like, okay. Oh my God, Zach, hey, what's up? And then he's like, I heard you be farting. And she died. She called him immediately, and then he was able to like send the message to me where I posted like, yes, a close friend was able to like heal the wounds of Swizzle harassing her, some guy from the internet, that Zach knows me, and I've explained it, and I've understood that I have the right intentions, things get misconstrued, but him being able to like laugh at Josie with that made it okay. So yes, Swizzle, it was funny, but
it makes me
we also need we're gonna actually get beef from something though eventually with what we do.
What are they gonna do? Fight us? Is someone gonna fight us though?
Probably.
You never know.
This is a standard. This is a combat mutual state, right? Mutual combat state.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to. I'm closer to 40
go door
than
to
I'm
door
30.
and fight any Canadians.
No, CJ's
we live
Canadian.
in Comancheria, dude. We are from Comancheria. We have Comanche.
Crash Out
The air
Connoisseurs
is
is in the SWEEZE verse.
Yeah. That makes me think though, like it makes me think of the meme of where like, it had like somebody with Zach's face on there and says, hey girl, you be farting. And and then Josie is the girl being like, oh, you're so sweet. And then like, and then the next person is like, it's Swizzle. He comes in, hey girl, you be farting. And hello, HR, hello. Like
it exactly explains the dynamic between the two of us, me and Suede, because I was able to like go into panic mode, and I have this thing where I went on our podcast and was like, I just want to be cool, I just want to be chill, I hope you like me, I hope everybody fucking likes and subscribe. And then people saw me crash out because I'm usually drunk tweeting and sharing way too much, and then from
Ken
that
is the red tape guy.
And then Swizzle comes in like,
we got to do it this way, we can't do this but on the internet whoosh.
And then last night, someone that's in the breaking news, something came across our desk. Dun, 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 dun. So, corn-fed news. Everyone used to like really get off in those Twitter spaces and X spaces, what they've turned into. And people used to just go in there and record a podcast, and whoever jumps in, they jump in. And that's how Dalton like initially started his comeback, was audio only.
Yeah.
So when Dalton was going through it and Swizzle was in jail, I would always hop in those, and that gave me the confidence to be able to like talk. So like for having 35 years of being nervous and panic mode and all this, people like Dave and Michael, who I stayed with in New Orleans, and Drew Huntley, always shouting out my dog, gave me this confidence to where I'm like pushing myself to do something for the people, something for the chat, something worthwhile in documenting. So that's kind of where it's just been. It's like, we wouldn't be here without the people in the chat, the people on the podcast, the people that were able to just get stuff out there. So like, it's just crazy how far.
The thing that throws me off though is there's a large part of the population that currently just live online. You know, like you get a lot of these streamers, they're locked in these rooms doing 24-hour streams, stuff like this. A lot of these people are just not going out and having actual social connection with people. So a lot of people don't realize like the things that they're saying on the internet. If you say that like in public to someone, you'll probably get hit in the mouth.
Yeah. Well, basically, like last night, what happened was one of the Dalton adjacent chat members was doing a live Twitter space at 2 a.m. after Swizzle had a couple drinks in him. And then, you know, he was talking and talking and talking. And similar to like what I'm doing on this is just talking. And, you know, the Diet Coke whores of the world didn't like it. And Robbie the Ice Goodwin was in there, but, you know, he was just there. So it's like Swizzle is able to get himself in situations by talking too much and making jokes that necessarily might go misinterpreted. When I did that in high school, I was like hanging out with the gothic kids, big into wrestling, feuding with all those kids. And then in college, I thought I was cool, but I was doing the same thing that Swizzle would do, but he was Mr. Popular. He was Mr. Border High. We all together collectively could be a really cool and chill guy if we put the work in. What I need to do is put the work in and start like figuring out what makes a podcast.
So what you're saying is
we already have merch. We already have ideas. Well, you know, I think Tyler said it equal. We've been on this almost 2 hours and 5 minutes. I think Tyler's talked for 5 minutes.
I'm just sitting back. I mean, it's unfiltered.
Thank you for changing the regular scheduled time. I hope that I hope there were people in the chat, you know, that came through because,
absolutely. You know, I do remember something funny from college, and it really made me laugh when I really think back at it. It was icy out one day at WT, and Tanner put up, or Squeeze, put up photos of these girls with
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde
that were completely unprepared. They were not dressed appropriately for the weather. And somehow Tanner had photos of them tripping and slipping on the ice and just like mid-trip. And it was the funniest thing ever. I remember laughing and dying when I see these pictures.
So I think
right there by the Buffalo.
So yeah,
so it was over by the pedestrian mall. Yeah.
Oh man, I used to have to ride my bike. I would ride my bike from my apartment to WT every day, right? So there was ice one morning. I didn't see it, and I was going slow right at that exact same spot, and my bike went sideways. And as I'm doing this, because you know how when it's cold, everybody runs to the building real quick, and then at one moment, everybody will be outside. It's like the classes just let out. I was good. No one was around. And as soon as I hit the ice, the classes let out. All 300 pounds of me slides a good 20 feet. And then I get up and just play it off like nothing happens. Because that's always the best. You have to.
That is.
You just have to walk off like, ugh.
And I mean, a big part of that too is basically like I'm going to capture, like Swade said earlier, he found old hard drives and laptops, the laptops we had in Canyon. And what I would do is I moved over to Canyon and I stayed in the dorms for 2 semesters. The first semester I got kicked out by the roommate I moved in with, right? We were both from competing small towns. He had been there since he was a freshman. I was a junior. We were the same age. He was a cowboy. I liked hip hop. I get along with everybody, but like, okay, so if he doesn't even like give me a chance and doesn't even want to live with me, then okay, screw him. Like, I had already packed my stuff and like unpacked, and I came in and all my stuff was thrown on the floor. So first night of college, I'm like, man, I'm going to eventually tell people this story, because I ended up in one of the other dorms at I would always just hang out there and listen to podcasts, and like I would take pictures. I was in the photography class, so I knew that in a couple weeks I moved in, and I had at least a couple weeks before the first couple assignments are. So what I would do is I would go and take the photos around to prepare for it. And what happened was, if you go, our campus was so small that you would eventually run into the same groups.
Yeah.
And what I did is I went from having this group at this dorm to like the group I hang out with at the activity center, and then the group I play basketball with, and then the people that I go hang out at the bowling alley and, you know, have popcorn with just to chill when I'm not in class.
Yeah.
So in the time between that, I was trying to like capture, okay, my first college experience didn't start out right. My second roommate was the worst person ever. I ended up getting a DUI the first semester because I sat in my car and drank because I didn't want to be in my room and I hated it there. And handling that was not well. So I decided I needed to be sober and take photos and take college serious at 24 years old. So
Yeah.
I was able to eventually go viral. And one of these girls I was close friends with started, this was like way back in like the era of Facebook. So like a Facebook page with groups of a community. She started a page called WT Confessions, like our school confessions. So yeah, like being in the WT Confessions group with 12,000 people in there, and they're just like in the moment being like, yo, so-and-so at the cafeteria. And then they get swarmed, or, you know, like, we're all going to go get salads right now and scare the lunch ladies to death. You know, they would, like, they would coordinate these dumb things where it became like a social circle. So yeah, I became like fluctuated in like trying to put myself out there as an older person to meet people and get into these different circles. So I was able to like mesh everything together to where I became that guy that sat at the place and took pictures of stupid stuff, and then when they see it on the Facebook page or the WT Confessions, and they're like, yo, what's up with this squirrel that's at Gunther Hall, and why did y'all teach it to like smoke cigarettes? Like, who did that? Like, so just stuff like that was what I was really into. So I mean, I remember exactly where I was. I was sitting by the Buffalo, and it was cold, and I had 45 minutes to get from one side of the campus to the other, and I parked and I had 12 minutes. So then I got outside and started smoking a cigarette because I saw this girl that I really liked, and I didn't smoke cigarettes that much. So I actually like, hey, what's up, hot lady? What are you doing? And she's like, smoking a cigarette, chilling. I'm like, can I have one? You know, I've always had this gift of gab with the ladies. Yeah. So come to find out, I was smoking a cigarette, and then I just saw this lady fall. And I'm like, this has got to be something. So in the time that I smoked a cigarette with this girl that I was really in love with, she told me about like stuff to get content for the WT Confessions page. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit here and post these pictures, and I'm saving this one for me and Twitter. And like Twitter was so early on. So yeah, I posted that, and it eventually was like a black girl in glasses, like doing the Rob Dyrdek, what is it? Tarantula, or is it Scorpion? Yeah. Scorpion. Doing the backwards, and then it was like a white girl in booty shorts, sorority, just like and then like there was a band nerd who fell on his shoulder, but his tuba, so I was like, oh, everyone's so happy. So yeah, and that was a big part of like what WT Confessions was, is because me and that girl were so close, and we were so bored. We'd always hang out and just sit out there, and we were trying to do what SWEEZE and SWIZZLE are doing now, what Unfiltered podcast, what Dalton Pruitt's doing with Cornfed. Like, we just want to make people laugh. We want to bring people together. And, you know, when people ask like, okay, you're having SWEEZE and SWIZZLE on, but what do they do? And it's just like, we're here for conversation. We're here for planning. We got a lot of aspects in life that we can bring people together and just go from there. So like, even when I thought about being on this pod of like what to talk about, and like, if we were a little bit nervous, it's like, we know you better than anybody. So like, compared to my first ever podcast with Douglas is a Dope,
Yeah.
after I went to Skankfest, the only reason that people really gave it, they cared about my Twitter was because I was boots on the ground Skankfest and they were comedy fans.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, guys, well, SWEEZE and SWIZZLE, my brother's in jail and he's getting out, so be ready, like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go very far if we don't do anything without it. Like,
Yeah.
and I've only gone as much as I can do as far as shout out sumo, and it's thankfully to those people like a Drew Huntley or going to these Skankfest events, but it only happens once a year, and we have the opportunity to do so much with what SWIZZLE has because he's so talented at what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're really going to catch people off guard because we are going to be consistent with it. So,
Well, it is impressive that you guys only release 15 videos, and you guys have as many subscribers as we do, and we've kicked out about 60. So,
yeah, and also those. So I would say we have one podcast that I was too nervous that we weren't even going to post. That's our first episode.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, Swade thought that I should get drunk, so I have a 20-minute rant in there. So that's good podcast bit. And I think we got a lot of fans off of me, like handling the job search and just kind of ranting. And then the third one was like, we pretended that we were at Skankfest and we recapped this, and it was called The Ego Death of SWEEZE. So we've really only had two. We've had one practice episode I didn't like and didn't want to post. We've had the second one where I was drunk and felt embarrassed. And then a year and a half later, I've posted shorts. So we've only done a tryout podcast and one official, I believe. Would you agree with that? Because everything else was just practice.
Yeah, I think somewhat.
Because
there's a lot of footage and stuff we have, but when it comes to
what's on our YouTube channel, I did go drunk. I did get drunk and go live for like 6 weeks there and called it the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast without Swizzle. And I called it season 2. So technically we could be up on season 3.
This is season 3.
I think we're just going to start out our fresh, like what we have now is we have content and videos where we figured out StreamYard a couple weeks ago, and we went through and figured out what we could do presented wise and with topics, and we could run through a test episode. We watched like Terry Funk highlights, and that's some stuff that's going to be posted immediately for the $1 subscribers. And then as soon as we can get what we're going with, we have it probably, I'd say 75 to 85% done of posting the return episode of SWEEZE and SWIZZLE, which will be given the mission statement, give some good highlights of what we're going to talk about, but we're actually going to do it this time with consistency. And like, it's people like Doug and Paul and Trash Podcast, Corn Fed, Dave Wright, and Broseph Smith. It's those people that I have in my pocket that I know that I trust, like Drew Huntley, Pandatron, that I trust 100% that we're on the right path now. Yeah. And we're not doing things that we're just talking about. We're actually going to have them and present it in a way, and it's an immediate. So yeah, I mean,
and it is the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast, but the way I'm chopping and editing things, it's not it's not like a regular setup of just us sitting there talking for an hour straight, and
it wouldn't be good for an audio listener. This has to be visual. You have to watch it on YouTube.
We will do some audio episodes, but they'll be short, like 20 minutes, stuff like that. Because when you get around to the editing and stuff, and then I'm like, do I want to leave this in? And then I'm just critiquing it. I have to take like a day off,
Yeah.
You get in that, you just get in that mind space. And
so we took 18 months off.
Yeah.
No, it's one of these things where it's like we've been building it slowly, but
it's
now
so surprising to see that people still fuck with it. Like people are still giving into it.
We're finding out that there is potential on doing a lot of different things, because I think that's one thing that we really want to do is make it unique and everything specific to us, but also we're storytelling, so part of me is like, if we want to just be streamers and do that, I feel like that's too easy, like I want more of a challenge of like making skits or doing this writing stuff and just just kind of teaching the world about your outlook, I guess.
We bring a lot of different aspects to it. Like, I'm a big gamer. I have a Twitch that I've had since 2017, and what Swade's into is more hip hop, like mowing the lawn time lapse videos. He's posted some like dishwashing videos while he was at work he works in a food truck, so he posted some like barbecue videos that were really fast. Like that type of stuff could catch on TikTok. So like I'm not too fluent in what's popping on TikTok, and recently Dave Wright, he got on there with Broseph to run their business and build a following, stuff like that. What Swizzle is doing is more like becoming a person on TikTok, and I'm using his elements to come together with what I have as far as the preparation and the division and the execution, and then having the network of people that we could just pull. Hey, Tyler can do this, or Paul could do this. They'd love to just get something out there. Mm-hmm. And then Swizzle's like, okay, well, I'm going to have this thrown in there like a Cartoon Network 2000 sketch, like an Aqua Teen Hunger Force commercial, or I'm going to do this, and then people are going to stick with it because of the way that it's shot. Because StreamYard podcasts are good, and that's only like a third of what we're hoping to do. Like StreamYard, live podcasting, streaming. I'm going to throw on some I'm going to do some like WWE on my Twitch, and then I'm going to go over it and talk about like wrestling news. Like I might fantasy book WrestleMania and then go through and talk about it. Like what I think about how it was presented, how I would have done it better. I might do something like that. But they keep saying I might. And,
we're really just going to get really hardcore into looks maxing. And we're just going to just go down that pathway.
Just like start hitting yourself with a little hammer and...
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're planning, because everything we're saying now, that's all. That's just like the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that when my absence from the Unfiltered podcast, I did get a job that was very trying. It's a job that most
Tanner was
people...
a 911 dispatcher for a while.
Yeah, I was a 911 dispatcher, and that was really traumatic as far as my mental state, and like I had to rebuild back from the bottom after hearing so many traumatic things over and over, and then losing that position, and then now I work at the Wendy's, and it's like I never thought I'd be here, and then it's like my life's falling apart, and we're only 3 weeks into Unfiltered, and like I pissed off Ed, and I'm just like, man, I'm sorry, Ed. I didn't mean to text so late. So like
that's the real ego death of Sweeze.
That's the real death of Sweeze, and the death that really was like the last dagger to my heart was when I couldn't be there for Unfiltered podcast because I was too busy getting yelled at by old people that were after church at the Wendy's, and it was just so demoralizing. It's like, man, how do you even like come to terms with somebody that you looked up to so much and is doing the podcast like it's easy? Like, you know that you could do this, you know that like your other friends do it, how easy it could be, but it's like, but I'm broken as a person. I'm beautifully broken, picking up the pieces edition. Shout out to Jelly Roll. Only a couple people will get that reference, right? But, shout out Jelly Roll, shout out Cornfed. I keep shouting people out too much, and it's just that's your whole world falls apart. And it's like, I love podcasting, I love entertaining, I get my mind all over the place, but like, man, it feels really good to have it finally focused on like things are falling into place, and like in all aspects of life, whether it be your personal, your work, your what you do as a hobby. If things start falling in place, you start appreciating all those W's, and like we've all gotten a lot of W's lately, so I think that's what we can be appreciative of. Crash Out Connoisseurs actually rolls. Like, I'm trying to get the eyes on that of all these famous comedians and podcasters that follow me. I'm trying to get you and CJ some love, like retweeting the links, and just I think that would be really good for the couple of podcasts that are really close. Like Trash isn't there. Cornfed has probably a loyal 150 subscribers days, and I mean Sibling Revelry has 30. So like you have a podcast who you have like 130 subscribers, we have 100, so we put all that together and like figure it out. Things are falling into place and it feels good for a change, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like I have like some brotherly advice. And it's from somebody that's kind of, now I've been doing it for pretty close to a year, and I've been planning it for like another year. Cause I remember when I was in Rapid City and I was seeing the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast, and I was like, Sweeze, we could do this. Like we can make a podcast, and we can make it kind of like, we can make it really fun. We could talk about like really weird shit. And, cause that was something that my dad and I wanted to do.
Right.
Was just making a podcast and just talk about some weird stuff. Like, UFOs and Bigfoot, and my dad was like, yeah, there's like tunnels all underground, and and my dad had weird, crazy conspiracy theories, and I was like, I just want to hear my dad talk like we used to when we were when we would go drive around together, and we'd sit in the car, and we'd be like, Dad would tell me all this weird stuff, and I was like, I'm all ears, like, and he's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I'm just listening.
On the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like coast to coast AM crap. And
yeah,
but it was good stuff though. And, and then every now and then we would bring in like a special guest. We would bring in like somebody from your connections or somebody that I'm connected to. And then it would be like, it'd be you, me, and a special guest, and we'd talk for 2 to 3 hours.
I think the Texas Panhandle breaks you though. Like when you're actually here and you got so much going on, it's like, where's the time? Like I'm sitting here and I'm just like, dang, there's so much work to do around here.
You don't want it.
Of all that our parents left behind, it's like, man, if I could just hire some Mexicans at the Home Depot for like $100 each, I could knock this out and we could get this podcast going from the ground up. Like we could dream big, Swizzle. And that's exactly what it's like, I feel really bad about how it all went down, just because it's just like I put so much into like wanting something to succeed, and I haven't lost the passion one bit. It's just that I've been so tired lately and haven't found the time and made excuses, and it's like I saw everything take off, and I'm just like, man, if I just would have stuck with it and stuck to what I know, instead of accepting my reality of being a Wendy's crew member and just picking up after old people it's just like, I've accepted this, that I got to do this right now to get off my feet. Yeah. And it's been 6-7 months since I've been on Unfiltered podcast.
Yeah.
So it's like, I needed a little break, because when you lose your family members and when you like think of all these things that your parents tell you about, like you with the podcast with your dad, it's like things are just tough during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then in January, the weather just isn't great around here, to where it's like you don't want to go outside, so you stay indoors all you can. And then it's like, man, I really let a lot of people down by like hyping them up and getting them there, and then I didn't even end up being a part of it because of just little things where I should have just said I needed a little bit of time to focus and figure out what the best time is for me. Because the agreeing on Sunday, I'm just like, well, now that I work Wendy's, I can't do Sundays. So it's like, I just thought that was the end of it. And I'm like, really stuck on something that you build, and you're like, man.
Right.
That's exactly,
this is the squeezing.
It's exactly what happened with the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast, though. It's really relevant to like a lot of what failed podcasts do. You can't necessarily make like your schedules align, and you have the chat, and like, what if someone's pissed off at what someone says, or what if like you don't know these people close enough to where you can talk to them, and it's like I hold no animosity, and I feel like most situations, everyone on each side of a disagreement or something like that, if you could just come to terms with being okay and honest with how you felt about it, it's like I really got everyone hyped up for the last 2 years plus about something, and then now that we're back, it's like I don't want to do this again, because it would just rip my heart out of like, I haven't lost any passion towards what I wanted to do. I'm bringing my brother along with everything that's going on, so I mean,
it took Fish Tank 5 seasons to get it right.
Yeah.
I think it's all about the progression. It's documenting everything.
Yeah,
so that's what the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast is. It's documenting the journey.
Yeah,
it's really, it's kind of like we're breaking down. You're breaking down everything you always like. I feel like when you're a kid, you grow up with certain ideals and things like this. Then you get older, and the world kind of throws you around a little bit, and then you start realizing like, all right, there's certain things in life that really matter, and sometimes an argument with like a boss or a coworker, that stuff does not really matter. There's certain things in life that really do matter, and I think that's the cool thing about it is they say men are in the prime of their lives in their mid-30s, right? Mm-hmm. So we're there, baby, but we're doing it now.
We're
so
there.
That's the thing. We're there. We're doing it. We're really doing it, Tyler Liger.
My biggest thing is I remember thinking to myself, it's not about having the time, it's about making the time.
Right.
And what I've learned is I was like, okay, 2 p.m. Sunday, that's unfiltered. That is a block reserved for unfiltered. And most
Just
people,
like the gym.
Most people reserve like, we'll reserve that time block. And most people are free on Sundays, which is really nice. And then if they're not, you just work it to where you can pre-record it and then you set it to that time. And then people are thinking, oh, same bat time, same bat channel. Another thing is promotion. So like, let's say you throw up a new show, do a teaser, do a cool little graphic that's like, oh man, the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast. Hey, check out the premiere. It's, the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE show. Check out the premiere that, goes up like at, 7 p.m. tonight. And then you get the audience that'll start being like 7 p.m. I need to tune in for SWEEZE and SWIZZLE because they have something new and it's something exciting. They have they have their main show and then they cut away to Small Town Eats, or they cut away to a time like to where they go walk the dogs and they talk about, hey, here's a funny story about, sumo or funny story about Rocky, or, funny story about Emilio, like, and this happened earlier today and I'm walking the dogs and we're telling this story. And then you build it into a show and it's like a variety show. And then that would be, and then you could cut away to divine introspection where you don't have to talk for like an hour or whatever. You can make it a nice 10-minute, a nice clean 10-minute segment. And you go and then you're like, hey, this is my life story. This is what I've learned from all the experiences I've had. And this is for future generations. Like, I do not want to go, I went through this, so you don't have to, one of those things. I think my bread and butter is more like live stuff, mostly because I'm so used to going live by now, and I've done it so frequently, especially with Crash Out Connoisseurs with CJ, because CJ will be like, hey, when are you wanting to do a show? And I'm like, I'm free this night and I'm free this night. And he's like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want to, and then what do we want to talk about? Or CJ will hit me up and he'll be like, okay, like this is going on with Daniel Larson, or this is going on with Cyrax, or this is something going on with Dakota and Felicity. And can you put that on the show? And I'm like, yeah. So like leading up to that show, like while I'm at my other job, and I really shouldn't do this, but I do it anyways during some free time, is I'm actually writing up the little format to the show and what we talk about. And you'll see me, like, I'll glance over here, or I'll glance over there, and I'm like, hey, well, let me get to my notes real quick, CJ, and then boom, we get to, as always, we like, please like, share, and subscribe, and hey, we appreciate everybody who comes in and pays us a visit, and and who shouts us out on other shows, because that's happened with us a few other times, and I think that's also kind of helped cultivate, a little bit of a hardcore audience. I don't know if we're ever going to have like 1 million subscribers or not. That's a pipe dream. But if I can get it to where like I get like a couple thousand, and we have we have like our hardcores, like 10 or 20 hardcores that tune in every time, like Drew tunes in, or Nico tunes in, or B Young, or Ash Young, or another one. I see Ed in the chat. Pandatron jumps in every now and then, or I see Lord Diaz, who we've collaborated with in the past, or McGillicuddy, who's dropped in, or Christopher Zazzle, who's done the Cyrax show, and he's an animator, and he drops in several times and checks in on us. And I mean, we have almost become kind of like the commentator's commentator
Oh yeah.
Like we've kind of, I kind of, Billabong Matt, welcome in. I mean, it's all about like, hey, like, what can we do to like, you know, make everybody feel welcome, and also make it really entertaining to where we can be like, oh man, dude, like look at the crash out like that Daniel Larson had. Well, he doesn't do crash outs anymore. He's off to summer camp of his own. And he's there for 5 years
at summer camp.
Yeah, he's there for 5 years. But what did Chris Chan say this time around? Or what the heck is going on with Truth through 777? Is he usually dancing and crashing out on his chat and telling people to go, you know, jump off bridges? Like, you know, we're there. Like, and that's part of that thing where it's like we want to try to cast some nets, but I do feel like, you know, there'll be some casual people that'll come in and, you know, they'll pop in, they say hello, and we need to make sure, hey, you're welcome, come on in, you know, to like others that we know that are going to be there all the time, like Drew, Nico, Honky Kong's another one, Who Farted is another one, you know, and be like, okay, that's our core audience, and those are the guys that are suggesting, hey, we should go check out Tony Chase, or we should go check out, I think one of our upcoming shows, we're going to check out the whole quartering crash out with against the Keno Casino. And I really wanted to kind of base Crash Out Connoisseurs on Keno Casino. I was like, I mean, CJ and I kid that we're the Temu Keno Casino. We're, you know, yeah, I mean, I tried to do more of a vintage type of feel, but at the same time, I was like, you know, uh-oh, we got a familiar face in the chat. Hold on, let me get you in here real quick. All right, and who should I make you? Okay, all right. Speaking of returns, we got Ed back. Welcome back.
What's up, gentlemen? How you doing?
Ed. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hanging out on a Sunday, back on Unfiltered. Happy to be back. Very proud of everybody, the hard work you guys put in, for sure.
Man, I've been sitting here watching you guys week after week. Well, not necessarily, but I was looking at the live video recordings, and you guys have been working your hearts out. You know, good for you and good on you. Hey, Squeeze, I'm sitting here listening to you talk about Wendy's and old people, man. Look.
Yeah.
Are you trying to be devil's advocate for the old people at Wendy's?
Oh no, fuck them.
I got tipped, I get tipped about $25 to $30 on a day I work with older people, so I'm very well liked at the Wendy's. Most people don't get anything, so
he's trying to get them gilfs.
It seemed like you were talking about, you know, they give you the criticism and it makes you feel bad, and you've got, you know, lower self-esteem, and I'm sitting here telling you, they obviously, if anybody who's making you feel that way, old person, Wendy's or not, you know, that's a them problem. You're a good you're a good man, and you don't need to internalize that so much. The positive energy that you seem to put out is just stronger and better than that. And I don't know. I know you've probably always felt that way about yourself, but you are a good person. So I just want you to know that. And by the way, yeah, you fucking texted all night, but guess what? At least I got some sleep after it stopped.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that.
Settle it in the ring. Settle it in the ring.
Thank you so much, Ed. No, when I know that you were invited to the podcast and we did a couple episodes and everything, my whole life was falling apart, and like I try not to be that person, even though online I am a person because of the community of what I was a part of, and I lost sight of the actual vision, and you know, my whole life fell apart to where I used to be the guy who would be IT support for Wendy's, and then I was working at the Wendy's. So like, your confidence takes a lot of blows, and at the end all be all, I knew that I was alone, I was segregated, I was going through crazy depression, and I reached out to my old friend Tyler about like my struggles, and like he was going on about what, you know, we finally landed on Unfiltered podcast, like through all the trials and tribulations. He finally gets down here, and then I'm an hour away, and I just feel so bad that like I'm embarrassed of the person that I actually was to where I thought I was or how people saw me. So like it explains the big absence of like, you don't want to go on host like something you put time and effort into and actually care about, and then you go online and then it's people trying to like post your address or get into your personal life and affect people like my brother. So it's just like I had a lot going on. I didn't handle it very well, and it means a lot to me that you said that, Ed, because I appreciate it, and that's what I hope to like spread this message of what I put out content wise. So
you keep doing what you're doing because you're doing everything right. You're going to hit life and it's going to throw you those punches. Like you said, you used to be IT, and I'm sure you appreciate that job. You were also in communication, right? Or something like that?
Right, yeah, communications,
so you went
manager,
to school for that stuff, and you wanted to do that stuff, but then here you are working at a Wendy's.
Yeah.
You do what you can do, and you wait for that door to open. That's basically how it has to go. And
it's sure never too late. Before. It's never too late. Hustle, loyalty, respect. John Cena, thank you. So yeah. No, man, I appreciate you saying that. And, we're going to keep going. This is the whole, that's why I was excited that, I didn't feel the time was right, but Swizzle reached out to Tyler, BTS, pulling the curtain back and was like, we're going to be on, we're going to do this. So with the inspiration of Swizzle, I've, kind of figured out that it's now the time to just go with it. And I'm not happy in the position I am where I am now. So I'm just going to keep working to where I need to be. To where we all can be, and I believe in everyone. So we're just keeping that positive energy going,
and that's all you can do. You want to have a good laugh. These two guys, they had been texting back and forth for a long time on Facebook, and I guess Tyler forgot that I was on there getting those messages. But one time I pop out of somewhere and it looks like Unfiltered's typing. I said, and there's a ghost in the background just watching everything. Don't you ever feel like somebody just said something terrible? Like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyler, I didn't mean that as anything insulting. You guys didn't bug me at all doing that. I guess it was a ominous way of saying hi, but it was it didn't bug me though.
Yeah. But no, I was like, DJ. I felt really, I was like, oh crud. I should have just because you needed a break, and because I remember talking to Rick, and you were like, I just need the break, and I was like, hey, that's no problem. The door's always open, and I talk about leaving the door open, so so Sweeze could come back, or if Swizzle, you wanted to pop on, you could be the co-host, or Ed if you wanted to come back, the door was open. I mean, luckily I've been like, oh man, it's been, I've been just stacking guest upon guest to where it's just not, just the three of us or the four of us, being like, oh, well, what are we talking about this week? It's more like, I was able to be like, hey, well, and those who are still watching or still tuned in, check in next week. I got Lord Diaz coming. We're not going to talk just about PWR, like we've been talking about in the latest episodes of Crash Out Connoisseurs.
Or whatever the last 2 hours, 40 minutes has been on this one.
Yeah, well,
SWEEZE and SWIZZLE, Sweeze crashes out.
Well, we've had a lot of divine intro, divine. Let me see. The divine introspection of sorts. So that's how I'm taking it as. But yeah, he's coming in next week, so it's just me and him. We're gonna talk about YouTubing and pro wrestling and all that stuff. Be sure to check that out. I think it's gonna be at 2 p.m. I was gonna initially pre-record it with Laura, and then I was like, oh well, I'm not going to WrestleMania anymore, so.
Not
that's
off
okay.
that story. Don't blame you there.
Yeah, so that's okay. But no, I always try to remember. I was like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not taking anything really seriously. I understand that life gets in the way for a lot of people. You know,
And it's about making the time is what I take from this, is making the time. Like I totally can say, like, you know, I may work at the Wendy's, but you know, instead of just not caring, I got to make the time, make the effort, and I have the people in my corner to make it happen. Make
Yeah.
the
Right.
time, make it happen.
because you have the support. You have
Put it on a t-shirt.
you have the support. You have like Dalton. You have Dave Wrong the
Yeah.
Stinker. You have me. You have your brother. You have Ed. You have Drew. You have Panda. You have so many people in your corner, Sweeze. It's not even funny. I mean, you probably have more people in your corner than I think I have in my corner. But you know, hey,
It's glad that we're on the same side, right, Ed?
yeah, we're all pushing against the rock together. You know.
I'd like to see the guys that are against us.
Yeah,
Flex on 'em.
I almost feel
they'd
sorry
be
for the
fucked.
guys against
They would
us.
totally be fucked.
Yeah, they would be in bad shape. But no, it's one of those things where it's like, I understand the struggle. I understand where it's like, hey, I got to step aside for a little bit. I got to take a break. I got to recharge the batteries.
But
Where-
it shouldn't feel like the end all be all, like your life's over because you have to take a job that you're not, you know, that you don't want to, but you got to
Yeah.
to
just a
figure out
chapter.
the plan. So
It's a chapter of your life.
right.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, when I had to, when I didn't have to, when I stepped away, I was just, I didn't know what to do with this thing. Here it was, pretty much like week after week, and Tyler had a vision of, well, you're a journalist. Let's get that out of the way. You are a journalist. You're a writer for papers. You're a storyteller. That's what
He can see all these pieces going together that I see as impossible because I worry. And I don't think that Tyler in my interactions, I always saw the vision and clearly, like, we'll get there, we'll hurdle through, we'll keep it moving, we'll make it happen. And I just didn't. I don't think
Right.
I don't operate
gotta
that way.
think
I
big
have a panic
picture.
attack me.
And,
Yeah.
and working with Tyler, I'll tell you, it was hard because he had a way he wanted to do it, and I had no problem following your lead. Where I struggled was sitting there going, okay, he's already, you know, you talk about PWR and
PWR and Cyrax.
Cyrax. I know nothing about any of this crap.
Yeah.
So he's on here talking about this stuff. I'm sitting here going, thumb up my ass. Don't really know what's going on because I don't
And
know
then
these people.
yeah. And then
You
I'm
know,
sure like it was more thumb up your ass when episode 2 I'm talking about wrestling. It's like, dude.
Well, no, I
Ed
can
doesn't know
sort of
wrestling,
follow
so-
wrestling, but when it comes to like knowing the intimate details of all these guys, yeah, no, I'm not that way, and it's okay. But
And I think
What-
I was
what
talking
do I
about a
know?
Juggalos championship wrestling.
yeah, see, that'd be fun because
so-
I do like
So
this
niche that like
posse.
we should have just held that out to be like, you
Oh,
guys ever hear of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns,
Yeah,
like
I know,
they
yeah.
rule.
But no, for me, it was like I know video gaming. I know some people. I know what I know.
And like
But
if we would have,
I don't
if
know
we
what
would have
he
just,
knows.
yeah, like if we would have ironed out a good mixture of how to like plan to go
Exactly.
into, but I was just too nervous and too worried, and I just was. My mom was walking in the back of our biggest episode, the Rick Elson
Yeah, I
thing.
remember
Yeah.
And then-
Well, hey,
and then
don't feel
Tyler
bad.
said that-
Mom's
yeah.
walked in a few times when CJ would be on a rant and he'd be like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
hello," and Mom's like, "Are you going to eat supper tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, but Mom, can't you see that I have a show going on right now?" But I mean,
Right.
but you know, it's just moms being moms. Don't feel bad about
But-
that.
You see that door right next to you? Put a sign out there that says "On the Air."
Yeah, I should.
Live.
My next Temu purchase, that's for sure. But no, like I found the right person to talk those sort of topics with CJ Holiday,
Yeah.
and I was glad that like because we initially tried to get PWR on.
Yeah,
and
I remember I was at Skankfest in the airport listening to the episode where he like crashed out majorly, and Ed's like, and he did what? When did he do this? On where? What's going on? I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, man.
because I
wish
remember
could
what
just
was
be
it?
like, ah.
I still tell people this. I told Lord Diaz, who's one of his biggest detractors. I was like,
Yeah.
Lore, like we were going to have PWR on, and Ed was like, he's on Kick, right? And I'm like, yeah, like he should be on Kick. I can't find him. That should have been red flag number 1. And then,
Right.
then it was like, okay, like, 90 minutes before show. Well,
Sorry, I got a little too wild on my Shawn Michaels retrospective, dude. I stepped on some glass, ended up in the hospital.
he didn't tell me that he snorted snow and then he ended up in the hospital and then he tried going naked on stream, which gets you banned on Kick. And then also he was doing drugs on stream, and then he tried unaliving himself live on air
And so-
on Kick.
Ed being around for this and hearing about this is probably like red flag. Should I do this podcast? And I'm sitting there like applying at the Wendy's and the Taco Bell and Burger, being like, but please just hire me. Bean burritos is easy. It's bean in a burrito, So like we're both handling our mental thing, and then like you're dealing with PWR, and it's like, okay, I'm just so glad that you found CJ, because I feel like I knew that it was always going to be successful with who you had lined up. And then in most recent things, I think the Douglas is a dope, because that was my first like interaction into podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation was flowing very easily between the two of you. When me and him get together, we both are just like, he can talk at me and then I'll just like, and it's like, okay, well, is that the flow for a podcast? When me and Rick and Ed and you were on 3 weeks in, and I'm like, I've looked up to this guy since I was 17 years old, and he's on my computer screen talking. And then he talks for 30 minutes about standing on business for Amarillo Wrestling. And I'm like, hell yeah. But I mean, what in the hell am I doing over here with my thumb up my ass, like Ed says?
By the way, CJ, it's nice to meet you officially.
Oh, yeah. CJ, if you're watching, and he does, he does watch.
Who's
that's
this?
That's Swizzle. That's
that's
Swizzle.
Swizzle.
Swizzle, it's nice to meet you.
It's
That's
Swizzle
my- that's my
Diesel,
brother.
baby.
I apologize.
Diesel, baby.
It's my brother Swade. He spent some time at summer camp. He's my little brother. He likes wrestling too. Me and Tyler and him went to a show on the Amarillo Boulevard in 2012 for breast cancer awareness. So we're always warriors against breast cancer. We always have that shared.
You know what's funny
yeah.
is I never let Brian Rivera live that down.
No, man, the rage got ripped open that night.
But Brian is the nicest guy. I need to bring him on the show one of these days, because he has really fun stories, and he has New York roots, so he goes to New York pretty often and goes and wrestles. And
isn't he Puerto Rican?
Yeah,
like that overlaps with
he's
overlaps
Puerto
with
Rican.
Louis J. Gomez is the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. You should probably
Ooh.
I think all Puerto Ricans should know the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. So
I could
funny.
ask Brian who Louis J. Gomez is. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, cool.
If you want to have a good laugh, I think about Izzy sometimes when he came onto the show, and he was sick and he wasn't feeling well. You would have never guessed.
Would have never known.
Never known. He's like, yeah, I feel really bad, and we're like, well, do you need to? And he's like, no, I'll come on, and he's on here for 2 hours with us, and he just nailed it.
Yeah.
So very,
and I
very
would love
lucky,
to.
good
I'd love to bring Israel back, because he's a very interesting person.
He's got a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to pull from him, I think, because your first introduction was a great back and forth, but then like following his socials, following his actual channel is like so informative of like, this guy's local. Like he should have much big following than he does. So it's just like, man.
Yeah.
That was a really great guest, and I thought Ed did really well. And like, not saying you're an older guy perspective, but I thought it was funny the perspectives you brought from like early gaming with like what he's doing, because I just imagine Ed sitting at his desk and being like, oh, so this is your setup? And he's like, yeah, this is the LED lights, this is the bar. And he's like, how do I turn it on? Or something like that. And I think little moments like that's what's good, the crossover of like, a Dalton Pruitt or a Dave Wright or the sibling revelry guys. Like those guys bring certain elements, and I think at the end all be all is Unfiltered. I haven't had no animosity or anything like that. It's all water under the bridge, but sometimes just like CM Punk, I burn that bridge down and never, and I'm just like sitting here thinking like, man, okay, it's not all failed if I didn't learn anything from it. So as long as you can learn something from it and pick up the pieces and don't sit there and wallow in to your broken just moving on and figuring out the motion. And that's what me and Swizzle are doing, is we're getting our channel. We're involving all the people that are involved in what we're into. You guys are also in that SWEEZEverse, so we'll come up with like a handshake. Yeah, so something like that. Me and Swizzle are both
podcast network.
Yeah, eventually we'll get there. But me and Swizzle are in Borger Ed, and Amarillo's only an hour away. So we plan on bringing back our little show called Small Town Eats. We've done like 3 episodes of like checking out these local, trying to like make it funny, and just 2 brothers hitting the town reminiscing of Borger. Or we might like go through other these neighborhoods and give like the history of Borger. We might go to the Borger Boomtown Museum and talk about Borger being an oil town. We might go out to Lake Meredith. We might
built on prostitution.
We might buy like some GoPros, make it waterproof, and go kayaking in Lake Meredith. We may go for walks with our dogs and do all these types of podcasts for content. But like what we're really hoping is just to be like something we're proud of and professional, and like not be assholes about it and like cut people down. We want to like put out the stuff we want people to see. Because I mean, eventually my mom's going to see this and it's not going to be like, oh my God, was I on camera when that guy was ranting about Amarillo wrestling? And it's like, no, Mom, we're good. It's fine. And then it's like, I want to be like, I want to cover stuff that I can share with people. So, I'm glad that you don't think I'm an asshole, Ed. I'm glad that you think I'm a good person, because I think you're a great person too.
You've thought that all this time?
Yeah. I've just been wallowing
I
around.
don't think you're an asshole. I just think you type too much at nighttime. That's all.
Yeah. And see, I've been working on it, so I'm very
I know Tyler told you that. I had nothing against you like that.
I think I do type too much at night. Like I was writing paragraphs to Tyler, like giving him manifestos about how this podcast is going to start our new lives. Like I was really hyped about it. I was. Yeah. And then I got Swizzle, my brother, who basically knows people in prison that could murder people. It's just like, it's like there was too much too soon. We were Icarus mode. We flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
And really it was humbling being like, I needed Ed to be there like, dude, stop texting me at 4 a.m. And it's like, oh shit, okay, people do sleep.
Yeah, that was I'm sorry. You're sitting there, you're excited, you're sharing your ideas, you're coming up with format and all this, and you were really there. I'm from a different universe apparently, and I am the way I am. But I can
roast battle.
Squeeze is from Venus. Squeeze is from Venus. Ed is from Mars.
Right.
Tune in next week in the dating game challenge.
Yeah, I tell you what, you and I can kiss and make up. All right, man. Mwah.
All right. I'm sure there's AI.
Whoa.
Wait. Hey, you really run the SWEEZE sandwich now? What's the layout now? Am I still in the middle?
You gotta be careful because my buddy Rob will be jealous. Apparently, I'm medium spoon, so I don't know.
Oh. Medium spoon.
I'm what they call a torta tamer. So
tamer. Turtle.
I mean, they call me the filling of the empanada. The Mexican girl just wraps herself around.
Okay, there's a line right there.
Oh my gosh.
Golden crispy wrapped around a meaty center.
That's what she said.
We should start a dating show. Yeah. Hey Ed, do you want to be my co-host on like a dating show where people call in and we give tips on dating? Because that was good.
Do I have to hold your hand?
I think the empanada thing, like I hadn't thought of that. If I ever get pulled up on Kill Tony, I'm gonna say I'm an empanada and I'm a Tanner the Torta Tamer.
Oh my god.
Good. Okay, subject change. Star Citizen. Hey, I've been doing that for a while.
So now that we're doing podcasting, all 4 of us. Okay. Have you ever thought how awesome it would be to have a theme song just at your disposal?
I mean,
if you wanted to kick someone's ass, if you wanted to post something cool on TikTok, if you wanted to put it at the front of every podcast video you do, you reach out to your favorite rapper in comedy who does that sort of thing. So big announcement, SWEEZE and SWIZZLE have a theme song by Crack Amico.
Oh.
Boom. So that's big news. And in the SWEEZE sphere, that's big news.
That's a SWEEZE mic drop.
Hey Ed, are you familiar with Crack Amico?
No.
Okay, well, we got to figure out a way, Swizzle, to promote to the Eds of the world how sick it is that Crack Kamiko's doing our theme song.
No, I'm happy for you though. Congratulations.
It's really somebody
that's
that I look
cool.
up to.
That's
I think.
I'm just sorry that I don't know who that is, but
I
I'm
know,
sure,
Hey, don't
I'm
feel
sure they
bad.
mean a lot to you.
I'm kind of lost too. I'm like,
When you guys see it, though,
But
you guys will
on the same
understand.
on the same topic, I produced some songs within the last month myself.
Really?
yep.
I did, like, ooh, big deal. No, I went to ChatGPT and
I'm proud of you.
I play Star Citizen, and it has to do kind of with that. I'm in a org, and I really care about the guys I'm in there with, and I really do kind of look at them as kind of an extended family. I'm with them every day. These guys were out doing something all the time. We're talking. Me and Sensei, we're always running the group together. So I decided to get a song made, and that's where it started, about our group called the Core Star. And I told ChatGPT I wanted a Star Citizen themed song about an organization called the Core Star, Irish rock beat, Irish rock beat. And so that song got made, and I ran it through Suno, and it said, it made my song, and just freaking phenomenal. It's a great song. And then I made 7 more after that to kind of fill out an album. And I guess I'll have to do something with it one of these days. I'm going to try to get up on iTunes, but because you can put AI music there. Bandcamp doesn't like that, apparently.
Yeah.
And so that too. I've been messing with some music, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Good for you guys having a theme song. That's awesome.
Well, we are. There's some clips that we have coming up soon, probably within the next week. But we are actually just on Ableton making the same thing. Like I have keyboard, everything like that, beat pads. We got the setup for all this because we've always kind of been like audio and like video nerds.
Right.
So we've always had this stuff. But yeah, we're releasing that too. But we should all collab and make music as one podcast.
Wouldn't that be fun?
There you go.
SWEEZE and SWIZZLE SWEEZEverse.
Yeah, the SWEEZEverse podcast.
I forgot it was youtube.com/SWEEZE and SWIZZLE pod. That was the plug for the website. Like and subscribe.
Yep, SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast. I think I dropped that before. I might drop it again.
I haven't talked to Tyler since pretty much that night about getting removed from the Facebook page, and I'm sorry we haven't talked more. I did want to tell you that
needed a break.
Well, no, but you're my friend. We can still go out and grab a burger. What the hell? Anyway,
I'm completely cool with that. Yep.
You guys were talking about merch earlier, and I made a comment. I said, well, speaking of merch, Tyler needs to get by here and pick up the flyer stand and the business card dispenser.
Oh yeah, I need to get.
You guys have stuff to hand out in public events.
Yeah, and speaking of, I think YC3
work,
is this coming weekend.
Yeah, this coming weekend's YC3.
Yeah. So
I'm going there. I'll probably be dressed in Renaissance gear.
Oh.
I think it would be hilarious if Swizzle hangs out like his podcasts to like people at the AA meetings so he can like recover and get interviews and be like, but it's the fact of like interviewing someone that you don't want to hang out with. That's where it's just like, okay, we don't need to know those tells of the street.
I get a t-shirt with your face on it and it says, I'm with SWEEZE.
That's a good one.
And then there's another one that says, I'm with Swizzle.
Oh man, there we go.
There you go.
So one on the front, one on the back. I'm with SWEEZE and I'm with Swizzle. There we go.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
Tyler gets on my pants right. Never. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't need your permission. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think we were considering. I think on the agenda is Crash Out Connoisseurs. Crash Out Connoisseurs merch. Because CJ is interested, and I know Mr. Lolcow. Mr. Lolcow's done a lot of clips for us, and we kind of play some of his clips, especially Truther 777, and we've been reacting to those clips, and I was like, and he asked us, I was like, have you guys thought about merch? And I'm like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Got to
You
be
didn't
able
want
to
to do merch and all this other stuff before doing a podcast like SWEEZE and SWIZZLE. Like,
Hey,
Get a
I just
Stanley
try to
Cup.
put the horse before the cart. So
Oh no, we're on a full mission.
You guys have already built
We're-
the cart. You guys just need the horse.
yeah.
Exactly.
We just
Well,
need the
That's why we got you. No.
yeah.
Yeah, I can be
This
the glue that
podcast-
holds everody together. Yeah, I'll just be like, hey,
we've
don't
given-
don't forget to do a SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast this week.
You know that the 3 hours that we've been streaming, I've probably went on like 30 different rants. Like I've lost touch
All
with
clippable,
reality.
probably.
Yeah.
He
So
says-
I mean,
he goes, "Ning-meow."
this is totally going to pay off when like I go through this and edit it and send you back, and then you guys have clips for that channel or for your channel and promotion, and it comes this way. That's what I do for SibRev. That's what I do for, bigger podcasts. Durag and the Deer Tag is a big one.
Yeah.
Are You Garbage was one that I did like when they were way back with Lewis, and Skankfest hashtag. Like we're all on. SWEEZE and SWIZZLE are going to New Orleans. I think it's something that everybody should check out. I'm really bummed to hear that your WrestleMania thing didn't work out the way.
We'll just
So
have
what
to
I'm
see.
planning, so what I'm planning on doing is the person that I stayed with last year, Michael Hall from the Cornfed chat. He's gonna watch this, so shout out to Michael Hall. Shout out to Drew Huntley. So we're hoping that Drew Huntley makes it out this year. So we'll have
I think he said he
Michael
was
Hall. Right, and then we'll have Robbie Goodwin, who was gonna stay with Michael Hall last year. So I ended up staying with Michael Hall, and then we got one of the guys that's done Sibling Revelry and Cornfed named Leighton Radner, who won the Legion of Skanks Biggest Loser contest. So he got a golden ticket to Skankfest. So that
Oh.
guy's also, we also do pods with him. Like he's in the SWEEZEverse. So I mean, we have Michael with the hotel. We know the hotel to stay at. We got about 3 or 4 people that are for sure going. These people are responsible, reliable, trustworthy. All we're really going to do is Friday, 11 a.m. New Orleans, go to the Skank walk to the venue with 2,000 people and see comedy and podcasts and live music and wrestling from Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then I left immediately after. I was at the airport at 4 a.m. and I came back home. I was in Amarillo I was in my bed at 9 a.m. So those 3 days, I took off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, flew out Friday, was back Monday, and it was the best weekend as far as it goes. And I think we have the potential to have Sibling Revelry there, Cornfed there, Trash there. And if we go, I'm at my disposal. Me and Swizzle will have the right setup to like be able to do content there, because I know how it goes. Like this is my 6th Skankfest, and it's something that all people can enjoy, like Ed per se, who might not see stand-up comedy, but he has Netflix and he sees a Shane Gillis or a Mark Norman or a Tony Hinchcliffe, Kill Tony. Like that's something that is universal. It's getting to older people's sphere. So SWEEZE and SWIZZLE is working on trying to figure out how to get the people
Bridge the gap.
talking to like get people going to the Unfiltered podcast and coming to the Sibling Revel, the stuff that we all support within the, multiverse of SWEEZE
How
and
old do you
SWIZZLE.
think I am?
I think you're about late 40s.
I'm 45, motherfucker.
I think you're late 40s, so that was a compliment. You look young for your age, Ed.
Actually, I turned 40. I turned 45 in 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should
So,
we
I
sing
mean, that
happy
wasn't-
birthday for Ed then?
Yeah. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. And I was eating the whole time with the, so I thought people were going to join me.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Well, how old are you? How old are you, brother?
Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
You're missing the white dress and the blonde wig.
I was
Yeah.
born in 88 and I stopped doing math when I turned 35. so I'm over 35 and I'm under 40, but I was born in 88. And my
38.
birthday hasn't happened.
Gotcha.
So I'm 37.
37.
Oh.
Oh, no. But there isn't that much of a gap between your age and mine as far as generational stuff goes.
No.
Well, I haven't had any
Apparently,
kids.
we're both. What?
I haven't had any kids and I've lived a bachelor life. So, I mean, I still feel like I'm 23 and live that way. Like,
I still feel like I'm 25 mentally. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm on here every single day with these people playing this game, and I'm like, no, I have no intention of stopping when I turn 70. I'm going to keep playing till I die, you know.
And the Unfiltered podcast will have 10,000 subs.
20,000.
With Ed at his 70s.
In my 70s. Tyler be sitting there going, ain't you dead yet?
Yeah.
And Rick is the Vince McMahon of the last 15 years. He made it to the top, baby.
He's the GOAT, man. I'm telling you.
For sure. Shout out Rick Elsey.
And actually, I think out of everybody, Rick has made the most appearances on Unfiltered.
He has. I went and checked before I came
He
on.
loves being on here. He loves coming out and doing the streams with us and what is that? The Texas Wrestling Podcast. He likes
Yeah,
that.
the Texan Tag Team Podcast.
Texan Tag Team. That's it. Yeah. Shout out
Not
to
Your
them.
Average Mark. He's been on that a few times, and I've been
He
talking
works
about
with all three
John,
of them
trying to
at
get
that thing.
John on, and then Houston hasn't really talked to me about doing like a collab yet, but I didn't see him at the last show, so I think I did. I just
You can join his Discord, and when they go stream, they stream like every day through the week. You can go on there anytime you want.
Oh yeah, probably.
I was telling
I've been
myself,
so
when
focused
I came on
Crash
here,
Out
I said,
Connoisseurs.
fourth time's the charm. That's what I
Yeah.
was focused on. And yeah, Crash Out Connoisseurs, you got a lot of momentum with that, right?
That has been the catalyst of a lot of our channel's growth, has been Crash Out. Now, not saying that like, oh, well, Unfiltered is, Unfiltered's the redheaded stepchild. It's the main show, but Crash Out Connoisseurs is the one with, where people are like, oh, there's CJ. And I think I talked with Cursed Decals about it. And he's out of New Mexico. And we talked about it afterwards. And I told them, I was like, I wish people, the goal is to get people to come for CJ and to stay for the both of us. Because in the locale sphere, I'm still in the commentator sphere, I'm still a relative unknown where CJ has a following. It's about just rediscovering that following, because by the time YouTube nuked his channel, CJ had 10,000 subscribers. He was making a living off YouTube. But YouTube pulled the plug just unceremoniously, didn't give him any strikes or anything, just pulled the plug on him. Just because he made too many videos about Cyrax. So that's why I was like, well, lesson learned. Why don't we just cover a variety of different people and see what happens? And I've gotten more creative with the thumbnails. Like, if I look at all of our stuff, it's crazy. I've done kind of different takes on movie posters and album covers. I'm curious. Now I'm going to look back. Let's see. Yeah, for I did like a Limp Bizkit one for Dark Side Phil. I did like an old NES advertisement for when we had Cursed Decals when we covered Tafiachu. I did American Jesus, which is a take on American Jesus by Bad Religion. I've done I've done Apocalypse Now. I've done a take on Newgrounds. I've done Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Let's see. Oh gosh. Stop Nova, which is kind of a take on Stop Pre. Which is a very deep cut. And then, our channel was built on Cyrax. And then when Cyrax went dark, man, we covered other people. So we really tried to diversify who we covered. Just like kind of how I diversified like our guests.
I still want to follow up a story that you and I heard on a different show.
What's that?
Whatever happened with the split tongue?
She got it.
Yep.
I know she got it. So
I've seen videos. It works.
What I'm hinting at is I want to have the conversation after she got it done.
Yeah. She's talked about it on podcast. You want me to send you a link?
No, I was trying to hint at getting her on here because I know it makes him start to get a little
I can reach out
nervous.
to Ellie. That wouldn't be very
I was like,
hard.
you could definitely. I
can definitely
hung
get
out with
Ellie.
her in New Orleans. So go to Skankfest, Dad. You can hang out with her in person.
Yeah.
You can see them. You can see that thinging.
You could
My
see
wife will
you
check
could see
my
the
ass.
butt cheek tattoos live.
You
and
can
up
ask her
close.
if she farts.
Jesus. God.
She'd probably look at you probably a little funny, and then she'd probably laugh. I don't know. That's
Ellie's like the funniest person, and she was like the ring girl and just had pasties on her boobs the whole weekend, and like she was front and center for that picture Louis J. Gomez sent. So like, great weekend. You guys should go to Skankfest.
yeah. And I've heard,
He will be doing that by himself, and I will be walking away.
Yeah.
well,
Are you gonna ride the Ferris wheel, Ed?
all right.
They have a Ferris wheel.
Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh gosh. I'm just trying to think of anything else. If we do the
Give me 1 second.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. No problem. If we do the SWEEZE verse cast, would you want to do it on the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast channel, or would you?
That's
wanna
where
do it on
everything's gonna be.
There you go.
Or what? I mean, did you say like what?
He could either be, on the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast, or it could be here on Unfiltered.
Oh yeah.
The SWEEZE verse.
And where
I
I'm
could probably
thinking,
Photoshop your head. We just need to get a good headshot of you, and then
Yeah.
just it has your head, and it has like little like like Ed would be in a star, I would be in a star, Swizzle would be in a star, Dave, all everybody else, and then it's the SWEEZE verse podcast.
right? And so like what we're thinking right now is what we have the capability for, as far as like we're gonna record videos and then post it to the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast channel, whether that be something that me and Sway do in our free time, or just the weekly episode. Keep that, then like do lives when we're both at our desk, because we have two separate setups right now. Like I'm in my room, he's in his room. We also have the basement cellar that we did for the first original videos. We also have a backyard patio we could do in the summer. So I mean, there's going to be multiple different elements of like camera changes, environment changes, bit changes, and sketches thrown in with like quick 20-minute videos on the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE channel. And then once we feel comfortable with like elaborating on, if me and him don't have the chemistry to do an interview podcast of what we've done that week, then what I want to do is just figure out this StreamYard thing, which is a good element for like SWEEZE and SWIZZLE Unfiltered, because you've already figured out a lot with StreamYard. So I mean,
I figured that out, and then I figured out with Video Ninja. So
yeah, and like, doesn't that component go hand in hand, where when I'm taking a video that I've edited on Adobe Premiere and putting it on my YouTube channel, there's a different, you see what I'm saying is I'm not familiar too much with like the live stream element, which you are. So I'm 100% open to doing podcasting and bringing up topics and talking about certain things. Where me and Swade differed was he wanted to like wing it and go here and there, and like doing that live, we may not post something that we want to be posted or talk about things we don't want to talk about.
yeah.
So like I understand that with the practice and understanding what's a good podcast of, yeah, I mean, it's like I don't have the familiarity with the live streams or Video Ninja or the StreamYard, what some people use, and I know that there's an element that I need to add to that, and I know the SWEEZE and SWIZZLE channel's not there. So I mean, yeah, like for anything immediate to happen, it would have to be with open schedules of let's try this out and see if it works. Because what I was trying to do on my own is I would send out a video record, or I would reach out to a friend and be like, hey, are you available at 1 a.m.? They're like, yeah. I'd get off work and I'd record an hour, and then I would be muted and they wouldn't be on the recording. And then it was unusable. So then I would figure out a way to figure out my mistake and go back, and then they would be muted and I would, so it's kind of just like, man, there's a lot to learn with this, and Swizzle really pushed the motivation to get back on there. So I'm glad that Ed popped in for sure. And then we were able to be on for over 3 hours now. So, I mean, I feel like this is a good step to like in the right direction of getting the clips we need, as far as we know how to segment. I know that I rant too much, but I also know that what I'm talking about isn't derailing what the vision of the pod is, which is promote SWEEZE and SWIZZLE pod,
Yeah.
come back to Unfiltered, give people the vision. And I know that I said a lot, but I've said a lot in the last 2 years, but it's time for action to make it happen. Like, that's moral of the story is I got this. And
Yeah.
Ed believes in me, damn it. Still
I believe in
really
you. I believe in you. You can do this.
What I've
Talk to
also
the people.
what I've also kind of learned as well, and I think this will help you out a lot, is maybe write kind of some notes going into a particular show, especially like you do a live.
I'm going to send you the notes that I prepared in the 2 to 3 days that me and Swizzle prepared. And then I was in the shower 10 minutes before I planned to get on here. And I realized I never sent that to him. I asked him for his Gmail and I never sent him what I was going to cover. So yeah, that's good. That's great advice because I was doing that. Yeah. But I just stayed up too late and forgot to send it.
Yeah. So what I've learned is I know we're writing pretty. We'll by the time we wrap up, it'll be about 3.5 hours. CJ and I usually aim for about 2.5 hours tops because after 3 hours, I start to kind of tire, and CJ can't last past 3 hours unless there was some sort of big time collaboration and he was really excited. But we
if SWEEZE and SWIZZLE came on,
something to cover that long distance. Yeah,
because
and the lights went out and Ed came in like the Undertaker.
Yeah, because we try to confine ourselves to about 2 hours. That's usually our target time. And our viewers know that we're on for about 2 hours. We usually we'll do an opening segment where we talk, where we do our plugs, we talk about a lot of our stuff. Then we go into we do about maybe 3 main segments. And if you notice, I'm able to kind of weave us in and out, do some transition words, do some forbidden math behind the scenes where I'm switching one screen to another, so we can watch and react to particular channels, and then we do our closing segment. And CJ does the intro, he does the outro, and then I try to fill in everything in between. All CJ has to do is react to things, and then sometimes CJ goes off into tangents, and then that makes me try to bring CJ back in. Because CJ will be like, I'm guilty of yapping. I yap too much. But he's a YouTuber. He's done it. He was a little scared to do live streaming at first. And then now that he's done it several times, he's gotten comfortable. Right. That's what I'm really happy about with CJ is just how much he's grown. And and people are like, oh my gosh, CJ Holiday, you're back. And it's yeah, he's back. I mean, but he can't come back officially on YouTube. He's still can't post. He still can't comment, which is really weird. But fortunately, we're able to structure the show to where we can keep it concise, but we can still flow. And we can still allow for tangents, because I get on tangents. When we talk about Dark Side Phil, once in a blue moon, and I don't talk about DSP on Crash Out Connoisseurs because I don't get the fucking views. But if I talk about Chris Chan or if I talk about Cyrax, I know that I'm going to get views. But the problem is Cyrax went dark, and Chris Chan is so over the moon. I can't understand what he's talking about. Right now, he's kind of on a tangent about this Blue Heart, about this video game that kind of took the name. Well, I had it first, but it was really stupid, and I don't understand why you just can't let that go. But he's got autism really bad, so he can't let it go, because he's established this canon in his head, and he thinks that it's the word of God. He didn't put a patent on it, so whatever. But no, it's about tightening things up, and then we just say, hey, we're gonna. I tell CJ we're gonna cover this, and this, and that's it. And then if anything else pops up, hey, it's part of the opening segment. Well, actually, it's part of the closing segment. It's part of the other news that we share. So that's kind of how you tighten it up, and you make it more like of a like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour show tops. Although we've been going long as of late, but.
Well, this is a special occasion because I just remember the time that we had Rick Elsey on, and then like
we went 3
kept
hours
it going. Yeah, we kept it going for 40 minutes when like we were just like, oh man, he just said it'll be a couple minutes, and it's like, oh man, we really come a long way in the time because
you know what?
Yeah.
You remember what happened? We were about ready to shut down, and Tyler says, "Okay, everybody, tell your craziest vacation story."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
4 minutes later.
Yeah.
But see, I even being a part of this tonight, I it was probably the first time I haven't been nervous as far as I've done these for 2 years and hopped into some where, I didn't set a lot of things that I never prepped for and I regret. And it's like tonight I didn't feel that way because I know that the vision is clear. So it's like, I appreciate you popping in, Ed, because, appreciate what you said. And, I'm really proud of everybody who's in the chat still. It's, shout out Sumo.
Yeah. Shout out
you, Drew
Sumo
Holly.
Dog.
Everybody, so.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay. Well,
you got this.
I suppose Swizzle. I think Swizzle's going to miss out on the closing segment, but that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah,
that's okay.
What it is.
He said his piece.
Yeah.
We need to get Swizzle to talk a little more. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
We need to get
He's
Swizzle
the eye
talking a little
candy,
more.
Tyler. Remember that. He's the eye candy.
He didn't want to
is the eye
divulge
candy.
too much,
Yeah, but is there any other plugs that you want to do, Sweeze?
Yeah, so I'll go over them. I'm TSweeze88 on X, TSWEEZE88, and then on Instagram I'm TSweeze, TSWEEZE. Also on PlayStation Network. Catch me on Twitter mostly. Instagram, I'll post pictures of my dog, Sumo. So use the hashtag #ShoutOutSumo. Shout out Sumo Bear, shout out Sumo Dog. You can catch Sweeze at SWEEZE and SWIZZLE's podcast on youtube.com/SWEEZE and SWIZZLE pod. Swizzle's X is Swizzle Faux Dizzle, just like how Snoop Dogg used to say.
Sudafed Poppy.
Oh, so that's him on Instagram, and then on X is Sudafed Poppy, which he thought was like a funny joke, like Sudafed. I don't know. I have no idea. He doesn't know either. So just like T-Squeeze and Swizzle interaction, catch us on there.
Not talking about Benadryl and the Hat Man. So
yeah. So we're trying to get a movement started again, and we're really excited about our involvement with Unfiltered, and I'm proud to see where it's come along. Tyler, thank you for having me on. Check out Crash Out Connoisseurs. CJ Holiday, I'm really proud of the work you do. I'm a big fan, so thank you. Back at it again like a crack addict with a bad habit. Shout out everybody that came through the chat. Appreciate everybody, and that's kind of it.
Okay, Ed, what do you got for plugs? What do you want to plug away at?
I want more people to join me on Star Citizen in my channel.
There you go. Why don't you plug that?
You can go on Reddit and look for Star Citizen Guilds. It's one of those channels, but you can search the Core Star, CORE Core Star, and come play with us. We'd love to have you.
There you go. Alrighty, I'll talk about what we got on tap for this week. I believe. Oh gosh, I need to look and see when we're gonna do. Hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta go back. Okay, so Monday we'll probably be back at it with Crash Out Connoisseurs. We're gonna cover the Quartering's big crash out on the Keno Casino. I have some words to say about that. I was kind of concerned. And then next week on Unfiltered Podcast, check us out because we'll have Lord Diaz. He'll be back on the show. He's an honorary Crash Out connoisseur. Big fan of the show, and we're also big fans of what he does. He does wonderful graphics art. He streams. He posts. He does Step Mania, so he's big into DDR. So and he's over at Rumble. He's over on Kick, and he's also over on YouTube. So I'm really glad to have Lore on, and I think that'll be 2 p.m. on a Sunday. We'll be back to regular time. And then between now and then we'll probably have about 2 more Crash Out Connoisseurs shows. I'm going to try to get it down to a schedule where we have 1 Unfiltered podcast, and then we have 2 Crash Out Connoisseurs. That's the plan. And then lastly, don't forget to check out our Patreon and our Spotify. I've been updating those. I need to update Spotify probably tomorrow. You guys need to forgive me a little bit. But I have updated our Patreon. Do check it out. A lot of our content is free. We haven't gotten into the premium content just yet, but we are open to suggestions. We can cover, you can have CJ talk about UFC. He's a big MMA fan. You can have, SWEEZE and I talk about wrestling. You can have Rick and I talk wrestling. Or you can have some special Liger cast. We'll see what we can do from there. So that'll do it. We're almost 3.5 hours deep. Probably one of our longest shows we've done in a while. I'm gonna double check.
My bad.
Oh, that's okay.
I think I talked for 2.5 before you did, before you came in. So.
Yeah.
I needed to make sure that Swizzle was comfortable, and I knew that he was, and I really reassured him to come on here. So thank you for having us at the end of it. So.
You betcha. And I think we've we pulled it off. This has probably been, I thought Doug was a longer show, but only 3:17. So we've got that beat by about 11 minutes. So you can hang that on Doug next time you see him, okay?
I'm going to text him in 5 minutes right now.
Okay, alrighty.
And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Exactly. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You'll get us noticed by the algorithm. That's what gets the word out. And I know a lot of y'all already spread the word about us anyways. We appreciate it. We really do. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you guys, hijacking the show every now and then. So, okay, until next time, y'all have a great start to the week. I'll be back with Crash Out Connoisseurs. And then you'll see probably a lot of us back probably within the next, several shows. This is what, episode 5 of season 2. We still got 21 more episodes of season 2 to go. So that'll do. Okie dokie. Until next time, I'm Tyler Anderson. The internet knows me as Tyler Liger. I'm here with SWEEZE. Over off to the far left. Is Ed. Ed made his return to the show tonight as well. And SWIZZLE was just here. Don't forget, keep an eye on SWEEZE and SWIZZLE as they are trying to promote SWEEZE and SWIZZLE podcast. That is making a return. I know they're going to be back full gear this summer, if not sooner. So yeah, tune in. I think I'm done with all the plugs. So let's get out of here, guys. Okay, until next time, y'all have a good one.
Adios.
WrestleMania next week.